Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Component Cast covering Elite Dangerous, a Rivalzone shirt special. But before we get on with tonight's show, we have to do some housekeeping, normal coverage sort of things. You know how it goes if you've been here before. If you haven't, though, welcome. First of all, if you want to support the show, the best way to do so is either by becoming a Twitch sub or joining us on Patreon. Patreon helps us get the biggest slice of the pie and allows us to create more shows like this. So if you like what we do, it's one of the best ways to help us out. Plus, you get loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and extra little freebie bits. For example, we have our completely royalty-free soundtrack that we have on it's available wherever you get it. But if you go to Patreon, you get the high-fidelity audio versions to download, for example, no matter what level you Patreon at, even if it's only one currency of wherever you're from. Anyway, Mikey, you have some things to talk about today?
Sure, Midge. So Midge and I were going to Rotterdam. I will be attending TwitchCon Europe in Rotterdam on the 29th and 30th of June alongside our executive producer, Midge. So come on over, say hi. We'll probably post on the Component Cast Twitch account, on the Twitter account, and keep the Discord updated on where exactly we are if there's any kind of meetings going on. So we'll be sure to let you know. You can check out the artist, not for this one, because she's not drawn any stuff for this. Midge did all the art for this. Clap. Give him a golf clap. Little golf clap.
I did all the art for this like 2 years ago.
We
know because we found the spelling mistakes.
Yes, still deserved. And as for the shows, you can find them all on the individual podcast channels. You can find them by searching the show's title. You can find our Dungeons & Dragons show, the Elnar Chronicles, our Jungle Structure, Core Night Runners, White-Hander show, these Great Schism. Our Lancer show is just business, and our specials including the Elite Dangerous Rivalzone special, the Goodies for Copies, Red Moogle special, the House of Time, Midgeman special on the Podbean, Player FM, Podchaser, Listen Notes, Bloom Play, App Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, Podcast Addict, and Good Pods apps. The show is released on YouTube and the podcast channels at 12 noon GMT, Friday for Elendor, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for the specials. So if you want to see this one in the podcast format, it'll be out this Sunday at 12 noon. You can please remember to turn on the auto downloader for your preferred app and be sure to leave a review and share it with your friends who are equally as nerdy. And you can also check out our links down below. Check out our Duras link where you can find our merch store. Merch is limited to show runtime. So once the show is done, that merch will be pulled afterwards. That's it. That's everything, I believe.
And then finally,
if you need radio voiceovers with terms and conditions or side effects listed, please, Mikey is available.
I know, yeah.
Please email me.
Yeah,
I need the money.
Hang on. OBS had a little bit of a jitter then. Hello, excuse you. And finally, Rifle, what's the system we're playing today?
We are playing the Elite Dangerous role-playing game by Spider-Man Games. It comes in this lovely box here. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, it comes with that. You get this lovely book, which is a fairly chunky thing. You can run an entire campaign out of this if you really want to. Or if you want to spend just about £10 more, you can get what I got, which is all of these expansion guides, all the different types of things. They all come with their own campaigns and new enemies and things like that inside them. And you get this lovely DM board as well, which can expand. I'm not going to expand it right now because, well, every time I do, I end up punching myself in the face with it. But you get all that. And quite honestly, I've run this campaign and one other with this, and I haven't even scratched the surface with the main book yet. So you can have a lot of fun with it.
And it works better than the computer game does.
Debatable.
Depends on who's playing it.
But we don't quite know because none of us have played Elite for, I don't know, about a year and a half. Because Odyssey. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't have a we don't have an intro splash for this show, so now we just have to awkwardly segue back into the game. Wait, can we dub from above it? Like if British people that get that reference?
I don't know if there's enough people who are old enough to get that reference, Midge. I'm surprised you got that reference.
Well, they made a remake of it, but also...
it was freaking terrible.
You forget that my father, for example, was born in the 50s. So I misplaced generation. I don't know where I'm going with this. Go with what you're doing.
Okay, so at the end of the last little thing, we we finished, and you guys were getting pulled out of Super Cruise. You made a jump into the Edoras system, and Midge, you do a quick scan of the system, and you find the only habitable planet quite easily, due to the fact it's the only habitable planet. There's 3 planets closer to the binary star system itself. You can see one is a white giant, and the other one is what looks to be an M-class red star slowly dying. This tells you that you're probably not going to be able to fuel off this star or anything like that, which is why no one really gives a damn about it exploration-wise. So, you make the scan, you spot the planet, you punch in the Super Cruise coordinates, accelerate up, and not 5 seconds after the stars start whipping by as you're going through Super Cruise and your ship's accelerating, you get the warning flash on screen right in front of you, and you start losing control. You realize that you're being interdicted by an extremely powerful interdiction beam. Now, you have a choice now. Midge alone has a choice. What do you want to tell your crew to do?
I am going to tell them to... I'm going to tell them to... each of them to get to a turret gun, because I'm going to try and pull out of this if I can.
Okay, right, okay. I will tell you this. You will have to make a monumentally good spaceship piloting roll.
Okay. I have a +5 to these, so...
Yeah, go for it.
It's
because the RPG is balanced compared to the game where
it's D20 roll, yeah, or is it D100?
It is D20 roll. Tell me, add your 5 to your D20 roll.
It's a 17.
Okay, that is not actually too bad. This gives you one of the better outcomes. I had 5 of them.
Oh, okay.
And you got. I'm gonna. No, I'll give you the second best.
Upper mid is how this feels.
I will give you the second best because it's early in the ring, and I don't want you all to die straight away. So, Harrison fights against the interdiction, trying to break it. He's pulling right. He's pulling left. You hear the ship creaking and groaning as basically a gravity well is trying to be produced by your own ship to drag you out of Super Cruise. You pull it to the left, and then suddenly you realize the Super Cruise is breaking. There's nothing you can do about it. And you, on instinct, pull the control and back to the right-hand side, which stabilizes you from actually rolling as you come out of the Super Cruise itself. But you've still lost power. You're going on Newtonian physics for a second or two. Because Newtonian physics still exist. And if you're good at these, if you're an elite dangerous player, you know it's a lovely way to actually get into a fight and just fly through the middle of a space battle going, yeah, I can do this. So, with a 17, you manage to get control back and you spot your sensors immediately. And before you're able to even tell everyone what you see on the sensors, over the comms, you hear, "This is Commander Taz Runcorn. You're in restricted space. Unless you have an adequate security clearance, prepare to die." And you get warnings all over the ship of target locks.
Whoa,
Crew, what do you do?
I'm gonna get on one of
Get
the
to my
bobsleighs.
turret mount. Sorry, keep going.
No, that's right. You saying you're going to a turret, Utari? Okay. Which turret system are you going to? There is 4. The last one will be assigned to Harrison, but there is 4 turret systems. 1 doing front, 1 doing back, 1 left, 1 right. So you just tell me which one you want to sit in.
See, I'm looking at the sheet and trying to see him.
Oh, they're not.
Again.
I'm trying to make this as easy as everyone to play. So because the turreted weapons.
Yeah,
So
I'm really not bothered. I'll happily go with let everyone make the choice of what direction.
I'll go in the back.
You're going for the rear turreted seat position. Okay, fair enough. Basically, what will happen is whoever takes, let's say you take the right turret, Utari.
Yeah.
Just using an example. If Harrison is able to position the ship with the right side pointed, you will get primary attack rolls.
Okay.
While others may get attack rolls, depending on where the ship is in relation to your ship, they would be at a difficulty because they're at a sharp angle, things like that. So this is how I'm doing it so that everyone understands exactly what's going on. So we've got Jenkins going for the rear turret. There's 3 turrets left.
I don't believe we were given any kind of clearance because we were told to do this as silently as possible by the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
By the princess.
And we
The
have
future
no idea.
Empress.
We have no idea as well what faction these are. They've just given us a rank and asked for a clearance, and we're like, it's not like we
There
can
isn't
go.
any.
We can't Benny from the mummy this. We can't just throw our different security clearances.
No, this is true.
Although as a smuggler, I'm sure I have some. This is a no bueno. This is a no bueno moment. I feel like
All I'm imagining in my head is just is Harrison like starting through his list of clearance codes, going fuck. Because if I remember correctly, in ED you see usually if someone connects to you via communications, there's usually obviously there's the name, but there's usually a symbol of some kind that annotates.
There's no data that's come up, is
distant
there?
to.
Oh, didn't think so.
No,
Mikey, are you a lefty or a righty?
I'm a
Naturally.
lefty.
Okay, you go.
I'm a righty. I'm a righty.
Okay,
naturally.
your character. Okay, your character, lefty or a righty?
Character lefty.
Okay, you go in the left. Utari go in the right. I'll take the front because that means I can see where I can shoot those so I can see where I'm going.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Evasive maneuvers, though, is my primary goal here.
evasive maneuvers? What rubbish is this? Okay, so everyone jumps into their seats. You start powering up the weapons. They start coming online. You hear a thrum of the shields expanding, protecting your ship. You see Midge on your console. They come up a very nice, reassuring, pulsating green, which you are very happy to do. You get power back and you throttle up to regain control and start evasive maneuvers. Utari, Irish, Jenkins, you jump into your seats. You see the weapons pop out. Basically, the way the turreted weapons work on the Anaconda is whoever has the most direct line of sight will gain primary access. Therefore, you will have the best shots. Any weapons that would be not completely straight on, others will be able to use to get a reduced accuracy. Okay? All right. Your ship then shudders. Heavily. And you feel, despite the dampeners on the ship that allow you to kind of move around and be fairly okay and whatever, you literally all jolt in your seats. Those who haven't got a seatbelt on, because you never told me you do, well, in Jenkins' case, you get slammed back into your seat. The other 2 get thrown from theirs. As a huge plasma accelerator shot 2 medium fixed railgun rounds slam into your rear shields, doing a combined 130 damage. Apologies. Sorry, 150 damage to your shields.
Oh, so we've gone from 430 down to 280. Yeah.
Right. At the bottom of your shields, Midge, if you manage to avoid any hits for one
That's a
round,
shield recharge, yeah.
you get 40 shields back, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, if they manage to bust your shields,
We start taking
and they hit your
damage.
hull,
Yeah.
you get hull damage, but you get 40 shields back because they didn't hit the shields, they hit the hull.
Ah, yes. Okay, cool.
All right. Does anybody want to say anything, any ideas, anything like that?
Are we
This is
still
the
locked
time.
on? Are they still locked onto us?
Well, you're in phase of maneuvering now, so they have lost their lock, but
Okay,
only
cool.
because you are shifting your butt all over the place.
Good.
But the first hit was literally, you were still trying to regain control.
Yeah. That's fair.
What would I know about rail cannons and plasma accelerators?
What is your background, young lady?
I am a federal officer, mostly ground, but I've spent some time as in a mercenary unit with a pilot.
Okay. You would have spoken about things in the past, so give me what you think would be the best role for you with that kind of knowledge.
Can I just do it spaceship weapons?
You can.
14.
14. Okay, you know that from the impact alone, that is a huge weapon. From the damage to the shields, nothing kinetic makes sense to you, which means it has to be something along the lines of a plasma accelerator. But they don't make rail cannons that large, so you know it's not a huge rail cannon. Only really battle cruisers can take rail cannons of that size, and you know a couple of things actually. A hit like that, it has to be more than one weapon for a ship of that size. And something else, to do that kind of damage that quickly from one hit, that ship's generating a lot of heat.
Do I know any counters?
When it comes to plasma accelerators and rail cannons, they are fixed. So the best counter for those is one of two things: evasive maneuvers, meaning they miss. Because they're fixed weapons, they have no give. Alternatively, just keep getting them to fire, because sooner or later they have to stop.
Because they'll be too hot.
Because they'll be too hot.
Since it's
You see heat sink, shoot at them.
Since it's a huge weapon, it also has to be a big ship.
Yes.
So,
But none of you have actually asked Midge what he saw on his thing yet.
No.
Because none of you had the chance to.
yes.
Because I'm evil and horrible and have kept throwing things at you.
Well, I'm getting off the ground and getting back into my weapons seat, and I'm putting my seatbelt on like a good boy.
I think one of the last things I said on the stream was to keep all your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. So you didn't
Yes,
take the
it
right
was.
instructions carefully. You gotta get.
No, I didn't. I'm on the left-hand side. So can I see far back enough to see the ship?
No.
No. Okay. So it's right directly.
They
behind us.
have, with Midge trying to get the ship righted and everything, they've been able to close the gap.
Mhm. So they are like directly behind us somewhere. I can't
Yes.
see them.
You can't
So
see
I
them
will-
directly.
Yeah, I will let them know that the ship's gotten close. It's like directly behind us. I can't see it out our starboard.
If you're on the right side, it would be the starboard, yes.
Would my screen show it?
Your screen would show it, yeah. You can see straight out the back of the ship.
Okay, what is it?
It's a combat on Anaconda.
It's another fucking Conda.
That's
Um,
to be expected.
You can see red if you give me some kind of perception thing.
Ooh, 18.
18. You can see one huge plasma accelerator, 3 large gimbaled pulse lasers, and 2 medium fixed rail guns protruding out of the weapon ports. Additionally, on the hull, you can see a 4A frameshift interdictor, but something's different about it. It looks modified.
You say, okay. So, would Red knows something, but would Jenkins know what to do with Gimbaled?
Yeah, everybody would know what to do with gimbaled. Anyone who's a pilot and has had any kind of combat would know what gimbaled weapons means. But for people listening at home, I will tell you. Fixed lasers, fixed weapons, they point forward. You have to move the ship to aim them. Pretty standard. Turreted, they're a turret, so you can aim at them in pretty much any direction as long as it's got line of sight. Gimbaled move around on a gimbaled axis, facing forward with about 15-degree kind of deflection. They then lock onto the target, which you have selected, and they will then move as much as they can to fix onto the target. The great thing about them is that they allow you to keep firing on anything that's right in front of you. However, they can be interfered with things like, I don't know, chaff launchers.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a trade-off.
Convenient, however, more easily countered.
Same with turrets. Turrets don't like chaff launchers either, unless someone is firing the turret.
Yep.
Because then you override the automated attack systems. Okay. So you guys are now fighting for your lives.
Yes.
Believe me, you are. I built this ship. Given the fact you were taken off guard, you didn't get the highest roll. You get to go second in the fight. So we're going left, right, up, down. We're going down the left-hand side of your ship. He got too close too fast. He wasn't expecting you to be so reactive. He thought you'd float for longer and bore in, trying to get as many shots off as possible. With the fact that Harrison has managed to regain control so quickly, he breaks off and flies down the left side of your ship. Basically meaning he has had to sacrifice another big hit with his railguns. Knowing this, he disengages his flight governing systems, for want of a better way, and tries to rotate his ship on its nose to bring his nose back to bear on your ship.
Oh, he's U-turn. He's doing a U-turn.
He's doing equivalent of a drift.
He's drifting the spaceship so he can point the nose at us and get us with the accelerator and the 2 railguns.
However, this is not something that he can do in one turn. So, if your own Anaconda is there, he's looking at you like that. So, Utari, you have the best shot. Basically, you want to roll your spaceship weapons stat, whatever bonus that is.
Spaceship weapons, it's a bonus of 3.
And then you get another +3 for your large, what is it? Turreted pulse lasers. Oh, +2, sorry.
That gives me a wonderful total of 5. And my dice are all goopy as hell after I spilled monster over them.
All right,
Extra
so
sticky.
you only have 2 turreted pulse lasers on the top, so you can only fire 2 of them.
Okay, so let's go for the first one. That is 14 plus 5, 19.
That's a hit.
First one.
That is a hit. That is
And
a very,
that's
very
even
solid
better.
hit.
Oh god, that's even better. 18.
18
Plus 5.
plus 5. Okay, you hit over 20. So I'm going to say you hit the shield so hard, something strange happens. Whereas before, you notice that instead of the normal blue that happens whenever someone hits a shield that you all are aware of, this shield kind of, it looks almost green as it bleeds the energy off. Whereas the second laser, for some unknown reason, it's just one of the weird things of the cosmos. You hit exactly the same pace, and your laser punches straight through and hits the hull underneath. In fact, it doesn't just hit the hull, it hits one of the shield projectors.
Ooh, nice.
So, for a split second, the bow shield completely dissipates and then comes back. I want everyone to do a sensor check.
Senses.
Because you're following what's happening on your screens in front of you.
Yes.
What's sensors under?
I think systems, babe.
Yeah. Oh, systems then.
Oh, system
Yeah,
on the vehicle.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
+2. Ooh,
Natty
nice.
20.
You got a nat 20, Red.
Oh.
I got a 17 for a
Oh,
total
no.
of 19.
Nice.
Oh no.
I got
Is that
a
a
You did.
1 I see? That's a 1
Oh,
I see.
that's a 1 I see.
Well, you know what,
Okay.
Atari, you used the good rolls on the good things, so
Yeah.
we're happy with that.
Yeah.
Midge, you got an 8. You got an 8. Okay.
I'm too busy piloting.
Yes, exactly. Midge, Harrison is too busy piloting. You've seen him do this maneuver, and you're like, how the hell did he do that? Utari, you're so focused on making your shots hit because let's face it, being a gunner is not your bag. It's sneaking into places, that's your thing. Dealing with shady people, that's totally your thing. Getting information to the people who need it is completely your thing. But sitting in a gunner's seat, trying to hit a target that's moving, doing weird maneuvers that not many people can do, that's not your thing. So you don't realize what's happened. Irish, you see what happens. Jenkins, you see something that no one else would notice. So Irish, you do like, yes, perfect hit. Jenkins, you see he's not using normal shields. He's using Byweave.
He's PvE fit.
He's using Byweave shields, which where a large turreted pulse laser would normally do 25 to 30 damage to shields. These are Byweave, which means they do more like 40 damage to shields. The trade-off is they recharge much faster if you can't hit them. So you hit with both, which means you did 80 damage. So he's down on his shield strength. I'm not going to tell you how much down.
I understand this now. Yeah, so they're easy to break but easy to recharge.
Yeah.
Hence why they're usually a PvE fit.
We are the
So
environment.
You're not cooking shield cells that boost up because they cost you money to run. The Byweave just naturally recharges.
You can
faster.
break Byweave on an Anaconda, completely break them, and they will recharge in about 1 minute and 45 seconds to full strength.
Okay.
They'll be back up and working with it about 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's 2-3 minutes to get them to full strength, but they are stupid. They really are.
It's because the recharge is based on a percentage, and Anaconda shields are so damn big. That's why they're a great PvE fit, because your recharge rate is just a huge amount of tank compared to using shield cells, like the offset. But you wouldn't want to ever use them against players, just to give you some context, because the players will have chewed through your hull by the time they do reactivate.
Okay. So, from his position, there's only 2 other weapons that can fire. Actually, from his position, there's only 1 other weapon that can fire, but you all know that it will do minimal damage because it's the multi-cannons.
I have a question.
Utari,
Can
do you want to
position?
fire your multigun? Huh?
Can you show me the position again? I'm just planning. I'm pre-planning. Okay.
I'm
I have an
assuming
idea,
his
right?
shields are not down.
No, they came back almost a split second later, which is why Jenkins was able to see what she saw.
I'm going to withhold. I'm assuming we've got ammo in this thing, haven't we? I'm going to withhold on the molly cannon. I don't think there's any point shooting while the shields are up.
Okay. No one else will have a shot given the position at this time. So we'll flick straight back to Midge. Midge, what are you doing?
So you say he's like that to us right now.
Yep.
We have guns on our side.
You've already fired them.
Me.
Yes.
They're like they're multi-cannons, but
I'm saying, if I take a maneuver where I try to go under him but put one side up, that side will have a shot.
yes, they would.
So if he's trying to Tokyo Drift around me, I want to Tokyo Drift underneath him and have someone shoot up at the underside of his hull.
You can do that. You would have to give me a space piloting roll, and you would need to get at least a 15.
Okay.
That's some space piloting. I like that.
No, I
Now
do
you're-
like that.
now you're
I did
thinking.
not
Now
see you
you're
doing
Space
that.
cow. That's space cowboy bullshit. That is.
That is space
Fucking
cowboy bullshit.
angles, that is, and that is a 19. So let's go.
All right, so
Let's
he's
go.
I'm
he's
rolling
sliding
low,
his
but my
tail round.
+5 is helping.
So he's trying to spin his back end round, and you see it, and there's something just snaps in your head that he's tried to ambush you like this. I mean, who ambushes Harrison Jones with an interdictor? You snap your ship onto its left side relative to him, and you force all the power you can into your what would be normally your lift thrusters, and you slide the ship underneath. Irish,
Yes.
I'm going to ask Midge a question. The answer to this question will determine how many guns you have to fire.
Cool.
Midge, 1 to 8. High or low?
Low.
Shit.
Things we love to
You're
hear. as
lining up the
players.
shot. You're lining up the shot. You're lining it up. You're just like, yeah, I've got him. And you just hear Jones say, not yet. And then literally a second later, he goes, now. And you realize that he's brought both of the topside large turreted pulse lasers and the lower one. Clear shots on the underside of the Anaconda. So you can roll for 3.
3. Okay.
It's your space
Space weapons.
space weapons, and then your D20, and then you get a +2 to each one. You have to roll 3
Right.
times.
So I have a +5, like Utari did.
Excellent.
So first dice. That's an 11 on the dice, so a 16 total.
Okay, yeah.
Second. It's a 16 on the dice, so a 21 total. And the last one. That's another 16 on the dice for another 21 total.
Okay. Bastards. So, okay.
Sorry, Dad.
No, it's fine. So your first shot was an 18? 16, sorry, wasn't it?
16, yes. 16.
Yeah. It's not the best shot. You see it splashes over the shields. You still manage to do the damage. The second and third shots are something truly sensational. They go into exactly the same. It's like they're just all targeted on the same point. Bang. And second one, the third one. Third one manages to punch straight through. The second one, you see the actual shield bubble shrink and holes start popping up in it. Second one goes straight through and hits just to the side of the actual huge plasma accelerator. You didn't hit it, but whatever you did made him start questioning his choices, because suddenly his engines light up and he starts maneuvering in a way that makes it almost impossible to decide which way he's going to go. But you did hit his hull. You hit it very hard. So let's have a look here. I need to take you down. You guys are doing way too well here.
Can I yell out, he's got a bye week?
You can yell out, he has got a bye weave. I was expecting you to do that a while ago.
You kept talking, babe.
Well, that's my job. Do it.
He's got a bye weave. If we get it down, it'll stay down for a while.
Cool.
All right. So his turn. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Do something good. Or don't. You're perfectly choice. Yeah, I got a 1. He
He's angry.
seems. Yeah, whether he's angry, whether he's panicking, whether he's just silly freaking out a bit, he fires up his main engines. Then again, ends his engine and is drifting away from you, rotates, and tries to bring his weapons on target. Harrison, are you still evasive maneuvering?
Yes, that is the intent. That's why we went under to try and keep going around him. He's essentially continued the same trajectory, so we've gone essentially apart.
You've gone apart.
So
He's trying to. Essentially, he's trying to create space so he can bring his guns, which are basically all forward facing, to bear.
Right. Then, yeah, I would be trying to keep tight to his angles to.
All right. So, you have a stat called Dogfight,
Yes.
which is essentially what you are now in.
Yes.
So, take your space piloting stat,
Correct. Yes.
add it to a d20, and then add your dogfight to the top of that as well.
This is like a ship proficiency bonus. Okay, cool.
Basically.
This is 2 Great Danes dog.
Yeah.
Yes. You do also don't forget you do get a +2 dogfight from our sensors. So that's
Yeah,
true.
I'm just trying to work out if that's because Red redid the sheet. I don't know.
That's been added in.
That's been added in.
I thought it would. Otherwise, I was about to be rolling a +11, which felt a little broken.
That'd be pretty good though. That'd be
It
pretty
would be
goddamn
great.
good.
It'd be fantastic.
It would be extremely good, yes.
That's like
I'm gonna roll this dice because I haven't rolled this one yet. This is
Go for it.
an
is that the
RGB.
fancy glowy one.
It's a glowy one, yeah. Ooh. So a natural 10 plus my 5 plus
Yep.
the 4 from dogfighting, so a 19.
You got a 19.
And then a 19.
Very good. It's very good.
If you'd only got one more, you'd have been in kind of that, you're matching each other's maneuvers. I totaled 20.
But we had to get hit at some point.
All right.
Mm.
So he's now going to bring.
Actually, we didn't get hit last round, right? So we
You
would have
didn't
got
get hit
40
last
more
round.
Shields.
Well, no. This is the second round. The first
That's,
round.
Yeah, fair.
You know what? No, wait. He got a shot off. Then.
He didn't shoot
Yes.
'cause he was trying to get
He
into it.
didn't shoot. So you get 40 shields back, Midge. You can't go above your total, though. Remember that.
Yep. So that's well. Don't worry, we're way off of our total.
All right, so
320.
Utari, you see this. You see that pinkish, purplish glow from the large Hadron Collider.
Which is basically what it is.
It basically is that huge plasma cannon as it builds up the energy. And he fires.
Hold on,
Midge,
J-Buds.
what is your defense for your ship?
7.
7, and with your space piloting?
with space piloting, that makes it a 12,
It makes it a 12. Okay.
right?
It's whether or
But
not you guys are going to.
This
Whether
my
you guys are
bonus
going to
I'm
get.
adding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's whether or not you guys get a critical hit from this. If I get above a 9 but below a 12 or whatever. Okay. Yeah. You don't need to worry. He's obviously off his game. You see the large plasma accelerator round go under your ship. As for the rail guns, one goes over, and the other one goes straight past where the camera is for the rear guns. You dodged all of them, you bastards.
Nice.
I want Utari. Give me a sensors check.
Oh no, this is not good. Sensors.
Need to start quipping
Yeah,
over the
it's
mic.
Systems, right?
Yeah, systems. It's not a high one, this one, mate. At all.
4.
4. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a bit too low. You don't see. You don't see what it is.
I am running super hot and super cold.
Yes, you are, but that's fine. That's okay. It means that no one at home knows what the hell's going on. Okay, we're back to Mr. Ford. Or Mr. Jones, or whatever your bloody name is.
Go. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones!
Yeah.
Okay, so he is now on your right side.
Okay.
Hence where he thought he was going to be fine hitting the side of your ship. You were only about 300 meters away when he made the shot, and somehow he managed to miss all 3 fixed shots. So you're there.
Mm-hmm.
He's over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a showboaty bastard. I want to barrel roll over the top of his car, over the top of his ship.
Do a barrel roll.
I want to try and get behind him because then once we've barrel rolled behind him, I'm gonna try and keep to his rear because it's forward-facing guns.
Okay, that's going to be interesting to do. You've got 300 meters to do this barrel roll.
Oh, he's a lot further away than I thought. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then not a. Okay.
And he's still drifting away from you because Newtonian physics mean he's still drifting away. So
he's going around. I'm currently like.
He went over the top.
Right. Yeah.
Because you went underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
He went over the top. He boosted away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Flipped himself over to fire at you. But his momentum is still carrying him away.
Right. So I've got to turn. I've just basically got to go straight forward. If we want to, but that means opening to bear right on it. Actually, no. If he's going further away, I want to. How much heat do we have right now?
You are almost pretty much cold. You've only got you fired a few shots of your turreted weapons, and you've not taken much in the way of damage. So your shields are. They're greening up again. There's not a lot of. How can I put it? There's not a lot of draw on your reactor right now.
Okay. I think I'm just going to barrel straight for him.
Okay.
Like going. I want to try and strafe as I do it, and then hopefully the idea will be when we get right to. I'm gonna play chicken basically. I'm gonna play chicken. And I'm going to try to do a curved corkscrew over him when we get close enough. Because I want to maneuver it so I can get as many shots off when we're close to try and hit the shield. Because, again, we've got to pound the shield, right? So getting into a position where we can shoot as many of the guns from as many angles as possible. Instead of just, navally broadsiding, it's better for us to, if we've got a 3D plane, let's use the 3D plane.
Fair enough. Okay, it's going to take you at least a turn to get into that kind of range, but if you give me a good roll, you will do the sharpest turn you've ever done. You'll be on fire as far as your piloting skills are concerned, and we'll be able to close the distance emphatically.
Okay. I'm going back to the Bloodstone dice. I wish I hadn't. So that's a 4 plus 5, so a 9.
You got a 9. Okay. It's not the best turn you've ever done. The fact that you were kind of shocked and
I was still coming out that
amazed.
previous maneuver.
Yeah, a little bit amazed that that maneuver actually freaking worked. You managed to turn into him. You haven't managed to lessen the distance a lot. Something that you didn't realize happened, he's lit up his own engines to arrest his own maneuver away. You are in range for a shot yourself.
Oh.
You would be able to fire all 3 of your turreted pulse weapons if you wish to.
Is there any negative to shooting them?
No, because you're within 1 kilometer.
I don't, as in, like, will it be at detriment to any maneuvering or anything that we can do later?
No, because literally as you turn in,
Then, yeah.
you get your nose on them, the computer goes, oh, wait a minute. Jones has the best shot. I'll give him control.
Okay, cool. Then fine. Yeah, let's take some shots.
Okay, so again, it is your spaceship weapons added on with a +2 for each of your different weapons.
My spaceship weapons is a 3.
Okay, plus, so it's basically
So I've got
it's
+5.
a D20 +5. There you go.
Yeah. Which makes a grand total of 10.
For the first weapon.
Yep.
You've got to roll it twice more.
That is a grand total of 13.
Okay.
And that is a grand total of 30! Natural 20 on the last one.
Okay.
No, 25,
This
isn't it?
is. All right, so
Not bad.
the first shot you see miss completely.
Yep.
You were coming out, you took a snap the second you saw it register something resembling green on your targeting. The shot goes underneath. The second one smacks straight into the shields. And you're like, yes! And then the third one, you're not entirely sure what happens. Everything on the ship goes opaque on the shields. And then you watch them collapse, going backwards along the ship.
Oh, we broke the shield down. Nice. Nice. Okay.
In answer to this, he fires everything. As in his huge plasma accelerator and 3 large gimbal pulse lasers and 2 medium fixed railguns. And it's all Mitch's fault. He broke the shields too early. Right. Yeah. Just take responsibility for this.
Just as so any of these gimbaled or auto turrets?
Yes, the large gimbal pulse lasers are.
We have the chaff launchers, which if we have, it gives us +4 defense on those.
The huge plasma accelerator shot shoots straight underneath your ship, but it doesn't miss by much. You actually feel the ship as the shields push against the energy wave. The first medium fixed railgun shot slams straight into the front of the shields. You particularly, Harrison, go, those projectors aren't supposed to do that, as they spark slightly.
Oh no.
That would be 40 damage to your shields.
Okay. Back down to 280.
The second one hits straight into the shields again, and you feel the whole ship vibrate as it's trying to push through the force wave of the impact. The first gimbal turret laser fires straight over the top. And it's like, that was fun. Second one also goes over the top.
God damn.
The third one hits the shields. doing another 30 damage to your shields. Everybody run a senses check.
I'll let everyone know. We're about halfway through our shields.
15.
15.
9.
9.
I burnt all my luck in those shots.
It's a 6 from me.
It's a 6. Okay. Mikey?
Oh boy.
What's your sensors?
Sensors, I believe they're only a 2. Is that systems, correct?
Systems,
Yes.
Yeah, 2.
yeah. Roll it.
Okay.
D20 plus 2.
That's a 10 total.
Okay, no one else sees this except Jenkins. You're not entirely sure when it happened, but in between the rail cannons hitting shields, you realize his radiator flaps are already up. And they are extremely... You can see the heat haze coming off them.
It's getting warm, boys.
So am I.
Well, as soon as he's taking his shots, he breaks off to the left, to your right. And his engines are full on. You can tell from the wash of the engines that they are at full power. He also begins to roll over to his left and try and go relatively down to, as far as you're concerned.
Trying to get on.
All right.
Rival, which side are the rifles on, rather than the lasers?
They are on the front of the ship.
They're on the front.
Yes, they are also turreted, so it's effectively they're on like the 2 front sides, so they could fire up, down, towards the back of the ship, forward, and out to the side. They would not be able to go crossing over the top or anything like that. They just can't do that turreted kind of movement.
They can't shoot each other.
They can't shoot each other, no. Falcon DeLacy made a good choice on that one. Okay, so his shields are broken. I'm going to give you guys a second to talk about what you'd like to do.
Oh, who has a shot at the moment?
Strictly speaking, everyone does. It all depends on where Harrison turns.
So if we can get sharp pinpoint those radiators,
Mhm.
that is going to. I'm talking to her.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Then that's going to heat him up worse, and it's going to kill whatever heat sinks he's got.
Okay.
Because it is a conda, it is made of unexplodium. The hull is still going to be basically as strong as ours, if not stronger.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Okay, I wasn't expecting you to start talking about hitting like radiators and things. If you wish to target radiators, which I'm not saying you can't do, you would need to roll higher than a 20 to hit them. If you are able to get close enough to shoot with the multi-cannons, I will give you a damage bonus if you hit with them.
So he's going under us, right?
He's trying to create space as far as you can see.
Who's got our best chance to hit out of us all?
guys, who gets the biggest bonus to their spaceship weapons?
Mine's a
Probably
3.
Probably Jenkins.
3.
Probably Jenkins.
I think we're all about the same. I think I'm 3 as well. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
All right, so we all have a 5 to hit then.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I've just got to get whichever the closest gun is, essentially, into range.
Well, he's moving kind of erratically, so where you would move would help you determine.
Okay.
I will say this: the way he is flying, he didn't expect this fight.
Yeah. Fell down the wrong rabbit hole. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna. He's trying to make distance. I'm just gonna continue to close whatever the fastest angle is to do so, and then as soon as you guys have a shot, take that shot.
Okay, give me a spaceship piloting.
Gotta change dice again because all of them are failing me right now. Except that one isn't. That's a natural 20.
Shit. I thought I was safe rolling a 12.
So natural 20 plus 5, and are we still dogfighting?
Strictly speaking, yes, but with that, you outmaneuver anything he does. So
Okay.
he's trying to kind of corkscrew, like you said, to try and get under you and make some space so he can get his guns back on point. You literally follow his maneuvers as you kind of float over. And as he comes underneath you, you continue your roll, bringing your left side straight over the top of his ship. Which brings Mikey into the game.
Yeah. So
The way Harrison has finished the roll, you have all 3 guns. Well, you have all 3 of your large pulse lasers. And given the shields are now down, you know the multi-cannons can come into play.
cool. Sorry, I was going to see if I have another D20 on my desk, but I don't.
So, you now have, excuse me, 3 large turreted pulse lasers and 1 turreted autocannon.
Right. Cool.
So
Now,
taking photos
question.
of my natural 20s.
How do you want to fire this? How do you want to shoot?
So I'm thinking pulse lasers first.
Mm-hmm.
And then the turreted autocannon
Okay.
last.
Are you aiming for a specific point, or are you just trying to do damage?
With the lasers, I don't think he's going to aim specifically. The question I have is that since I'm aiming for one of the probably rails, I assume, of vents or whatever else that would be on the ship to vent heat. If I miss but don't miss by much, do I still hit the hull?
You will hit the hull, yes.
Cool. So I'm
The
going to try and
radiators
aim
are
for
on
here.
either side of the cockpit area.
Ah, I see. Right, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to try and aim for the radiators with the autocannon at the end. So let's do
Okay.
the lasers first.
Let's do lasers first then.
That's an 18 plus a 5 is a 23 for the first laser.
Okay.
Second laser, that's a 19 plus a 5. Okay, third laser. It's a 5. It's only a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then the autocannon.
Mm-hmm.
Need more than a 20 to hit the vents. No, that's a 13 total with that.
Okay. The turreted the multi-cannon. Something seemed to be wrong with the targeting software. It blasts off before it actually rotates properly into place, and you just see a burst of rounds just fling off into space. And you remember a film of some kind where it's like, you know, some kind of drill sergeant screaming at a new recruit about how you're supposed to wait for the targeting sensors to give you a lock before you fire.
Because Isaac Newton's the deadliest motherfucker to ever exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I know
remember
this
him screaming at this young recruit's face that Sir Isaac Newton is the deadliest son of a bitch in space.
Indeed.
One of your turrets misses completely as well. It's almost like it's chasing after the bullets to bring them back. You basically just aimed at the ship for the others, but when you pulled the triggers, you were literally pointing directly at the vents, and you see both of those plasma pulse lasers around just go slam straight into, and the ship shudders, and you see smoke starting to vent out of the thing. You don't think you've done much damage, but you know you've done something.
Mm.
Okay. Please make this fight work.
Can I yell? Oh no, the DM's front. Can I yell, someone fire the chaff launchers, please?
You can. Mikey, you were the last person to act. Roll me a d20.
20. It's a 4.
You are too busy celebrating hitting with those lasers. You don't hear Jenkins say a damn thing.
Fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all kind of are like, yes. You know, shields are down. You're starting to do damage internally. This fight's going pretty well. Then you notice the ship's getting a lot closer, a lot faster, and in fact, the aspect ratio is starting to shrink. It's almost like the ship's turning to ram you.
Oh god.
You then see an explosion of light at the back end of the ship as he hits his boosters and starts literally coming in at full speed.
Oh.
You have 10 seconds to react.
Dive.
Yeah, get out the fucking way.
Pull up terrain. Pull up terrain.
Down is quicker.
This is
Down
one
is
of those
quicker.
rare occasions when the mountain actually comes towards you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm absolutely down, just out the way of it. Just get out the way.
Dive.
Could you please give me a starship handling, control, piloting thing?
Jiggy Bob.
You've been serving me well, friend. Don't fuck me now. I thought that was a 1. It's not. It's a 7 plus 5. Does this count as dogfighting?
It does.
So that's 7 plus 5 plus 4. So that's
Lucky
16.
bastard.
16.
Yeah.
You don't know whether it's reflex, whether it's look at the gods, whether all those shady jobs that you've got caught for, suddenly the looks turn good at this time, but you reflexively continue your roll to the left after your last maneuver, and you just see his ship surge past you. He doesn't miss completely. You see your shields take a massive hit, and you lose 120 off your shields.
Oh no. 20 off the shields. Cool. Oof.
What's your shields now, Samage?
30.
30.
Yeah.
Okay. However, by continuing your roll and steering away, Utari and Jenkins, you both have clear shots on his rear.
I can finally fire.
This is the shields.
True.
Okay,
True.
so given the position of the ships, you have 2 large pulse lasers. Sorry, you have all 3 large pulse lasers and 1 of the multi-cannons.
You want to go first, Atari?
You basically both get to fire all of the weapons.
Excellent. Do we get any negatives or?
You get no negatives because you are firing basically with him less than 50 meters from your
Okay,
ship.
how many 3 isn't it for the lasers?
You get all 3 of the pulse lasers and 1 multi-cannon.
Okay, and are we able to do that each? Right?
Yes.
Just clarify. Okay, I'll
Yep.
go with the 3 lasers first. So That is 17 plus 5. That is 22 for the first.
Yeah, you've got a 22.
That is a 15 for number 2.
Okay.
Number 3. Oh god. Number 3. Number 3 is 7.
Okay.
Multi-cannon. What's the stats of the multi-cannon?
It's +2 again.
Okay, so so it'd be +5. Yeah, I'm gonna go for multi-cannon because hopefully the shields would have been breached by 2 of those hits.
You've hit him every single time, so he's got breaches on everything.
Okay.
His shields haven't come back yet.
19 for the multi-cannon.
Okay. All right. The first turreted pulse laser you see doesn't go into the same vent as the last shot you saw with Irish there. It kind of hits another one, but you notice it's not as pulsating red as you would expect, and you can even see some dark patches starting to appear on the vents. Your second hit goes straight through, hits the shield, goes straight through and hits the hull. It's not the best hit, but you do notice that it does hit one of his gimbaled large lasers on the bottom of his ship, and it shears it completely off. The other 2 shots, they just go low, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. It was a snapshot, close range. You weren't expecting it. So you give yourself a pat on the back that you managed to get 2 solid hits and do some damage to his ship. Red. Oh, she's going mental.
Okay, so I am rolling all 3 lasers at the same time.
Okay.
Are you all going red?
Yeah, well, the shields are at 30. What do you expect?
The ship's computer stopped going for warning. It's just going, ah!
Just screaming at us.
Okay, so 23, 20, and 16.
Okay, your first 2 shots, you watch just bore straight into the same vent that Utari's shot hit. Just go slam straight in there. And you're not sure what you're seeing. It's strange. You know it's like heat energy being transferred into a radiator. Something should happen. But I don't know, it's weird. It's like fluids pouring out of it, but solidifying as soon as it hits the colder space and starting to form a trail behind the ship.
Does it look like water ice or another different type of ice?
You can't tell from this range.
Okay.
The third shot slams straight into the shield, into the ship itself. It's hull damage, but
Okay, multi-cannon.
multi-cannon shot. 9. It goes wide.
Understandable.
It goes wild. There's nothing you can do about that one. I'm sorry, I'm really not.
Someone hit the fucking chat!
You do know that it's still your shot.
I'm gonna hit the fucking chat.
Okay, the shaft gets fired off.
Okay, so then we're down to 5 shots of the chaff launchers.
Jenkins screams about hitting the chaff and then hits it themselves because they can do that.
Okay, it's his turn. The engines are no longer boosting. In fact, it's almost like he's turned down the power to the engines. And who the fuck are you? And then the comms got off.
We haven't even commed over yet, so
Nope.
He just said prepare to. He just said my name is Guillermo del Toro. Prepare to die, and then proceeded to get his ass whooped, and then is like, "What the fuck?"
Your computer denotes that a longer range transmission is trying to be sent from the ship, but someone fired a chaff launcher off, and so it's scrambling the signal. And if I hadn't rolled an 8, that would have got through. Well, it would if I'd have rolled a 10, but, you know. Thanks, Red.
Look, I'm just a dumb gunny.
As for the rest of his turn, he doesn't seem to do an awful lot. There's
Goes
no
back.
change in trajectory. There's no evasive maneuvers. The engines are nowhere near as bright. There's definitely a reduction in thrust. The vents are wide open. You see the top 2 vents are, well, they're distorting the ship's hull. As in the metal of the ship's hull. They're radiating so much heat.
Could I run a sensor check and see if he's actually shut down?
Go for it.
$17.
You run a sensor check. What comes back to you is that his reactor is running at 130%.
Guys, he's almost dead.
Now, when Utari hears this, you know that means internal heat damage is happening to all critical systems.
Guy might be about to go nuclear.
Basically.
Did we hit the reactor?
No, you did enough damage to his heat vents that he's no longer radiating heat properly, and he'd fired his railguns and huge plasma accelerator too many times in rapid succession without venting heat in between shots.
We get our 40 shields back.
You get 40 shields back.
That's why I'm on orange now. That's why we're up to 70. It's like an orange and red. We're still not out of the dark yet. If this thing goes nuclear, the shield is gonna go. So I think I'm just gonna hit the reverse thrusters and just keep them in like gun range, but just fucking back up if it's passed on that they might be about to go up.
You start to. I rolled for this, unfortunately. You start backing up, and as you do, well, things seem weird. The ship seems to go soft for a split second. And then, basically, an explosion rips the ship apart from where the power generator, the reactor is, up the spine of the ship, and the whole thing just gets ripped to pieces.
Oof.
Did he self-destruct?
No. Utari has seen this kind of destruction before. This is when a reactor cannot shed heat fast enough and starts venting it into the ship. It melts the ship from the inside out.
Do we see an escape pod?
No.
But it's too fast.
Basically. If he had done something about it sooner, maybe he'd have been okay and get to an escape pod or whatever. But his attack with ramming was pretty much his coup de grace. He was going to either take you out or go out on his own. You survive. You were supposed to take
Yay.
more damage than that, by the way. Thank you very much.
Dice gods.
So glad I can turn off that flashing.
Okay, you survive. With that, I want everyone to run a sensors check. Give yourselves another +2.
It won't fucking matter.
That's a 15.
So senses is perception, so I'm continuing the theme of not being able to do it. I rolled a natural 3.
Okay.
So I think that comes up to an 8 total for me.
Okay, and we got a 15. You're 19 for you, Utari?
16.
16.
Well, 15 for me is a 19 because of the 2 from sensors and 2 from the bonus.
Bonus. Okay.
Yeah.
The bonus comes from you all are basically high on adrenaline, super perceptive, except for obviously Harrison. And kind of like what else is out there? What else is out there? And you find there's no other ships in the area at all. There's no navigation beacon, actually, either, which is highly unusual. You've had broken beacons that could still be checked and whatnot, but this system does not even have a navigation beacon anywhere near the binary stars. Other than that, you see the normal kind of debris, background radiation, things like that. And it's like a beacon, this one planet you know of that could sustain life is just sat there, beckoning you forward. Utari, with your 19, you are able to pick up in the background, which anyone else would have just thought, yeah, background radiation. You notice a homing beacon masquerading as background interference. You've only seen this tactic used once before, when it was a time you worked for a very clandestine operation. Many people know about it, but not many people know exactly what they did. Aegis. It leads to a particular facility on the planet's surface. But it takes you several minutes to actually realize that that is a facility and not just a rock formation on the planet.
There's a hidden facility over there, the rock facility. I remember I've actually been here before.
Well, isn't that convenient?
For those who would like to know, Utari didn't come here of his own accord. He was brought here. He wasn't allowed to know where he went.
The whole blindfold you, take you somewhere, black bag kind of situation?
No, the whole go near the cockpit and you're dead kind of situation. You can look out the window, because what are you going to see? Stars.
Fair.
Okay. I'm assuming you would like to go towards the facility.
Do we want to go on break first?
Oh, go on then.
9 minutes out, so yeah, let's take our midpoint
We
break.
should also we can also use that as like saying that we're going to wait for our ship to recharge.
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
shields.
wait for the shields to
Yeah,
recharge.
just in case. Just in case.
Just in case, because oh boy, did we take a battering. Not quite hull damage. That's nice.
No, you're okay on the hull damage. You've only took about, I don't know, 140 damage on the hull.
Did we?
You're all right. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think we did, but
Oh.
okay.
No, sorry, you didn't. I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
Yeah, no, we went down to 30 shields, and now we've gained
Yes,
another 40.
you
so
didn't
we're
take
just-
any damage to your hull. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the wrong sheet here.
Too many sheets. Too many jobs to do.
sheets. But yeah, so join us in 10 minutes' time. We'll be back with the second half of this broadcast.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere. And if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch. And just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to to cause problems out on the frontier. Whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope on the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness. A radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
And we're back.
Okay, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you've all rested after the wonders that was your ridiculously well-fought space combat, you bastard.
It's kind of the only thing my character was made for, was to fly ships.
All right. So as we left the story 10 minutes ago, your ship is back up to full power. No hull damage. Your shields are full and strong again. You've taken stock. Jenkins, you, in your true mercenary, pilfering the field of battle, decided to do a in-depth sensor sweep of the wreckage of the Anaconda you took out. You kind of nudged Harrison to get you closer so you could get more detailed scans. And from your investigating, you found that there were several collector limpets in the wreckage. In fact, there was the remains of a collector limpet controller. 2 very large cargo racks. One filled with, given the number of limpets left over, one filled with basically unused limpets. The second one, I'd say about a third filled with random cargo. A ton of some kind of metal ore, or a ton of foodstuffs, kind of things like that. Nothing really seems to go together as something that someone would transport in such small quantities, which leads you to believe, for some reason, this guy's been allowed to operate here and keep whatever he doesn't destroy. With that in mind, Irish, you decide, well, how many other ships have been destroyed then? And you do a system-wide sensor sweep and find distinct debris patterns showing at least 30 ships have been destroyed from various vectors, mostly from the same direction of Hatchet Station. From the details you can find from what is left of the wreckage, this has been going on for at least a year, if not longer.
This guy's worse than a pirate.
Oh, this whole sector of space just got a whole lot quieter.
With this all kind of put together, you sit down, or Harrison continues to sit down, the rest of you kind of form around pilot's chair to share information. Utari, you share your history of this hidden signal in the background radiation of the system, where you've seen it before. And when you say the word Aegis, everybody kind of perks up, because everyone's heard of Aegis, but they're to do with the battle against the Thargoids. And the princess said this had nothing to do with the Thargoids.
Shit's getting weirder.
I ain't doing no bug hunting. Did you see that ship that came into Canto after it had been with the bugs? It was covered in shit.
Well, we've got a job to do, and I've got a feeling we'll die if we don't do it. So I know that I've got a perfect escape plan and might make it across the galaxy. You may not have that, so let's just suck it up, get it done. Clean this place out and go back home.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna go down. You guys land, I'm gonna go and prep the vehicles.
Okay, so Jenkins, you're going to prep the vehicles. You basically, Harrison, you see a available power drop as the vehicle hangars are brought online. It's barely noticeable given the fact that the ship is not kitted out the way you really would like it. You know, it's got far too many guns, not enough sneaky equipment on it. Irish and Utari, I am willing for you two to work together to do a sensor sweep of the only habitable planet in the system. Alternatively, you can both do your own sensor sweeps of one doing the habitable planet and the other doing the uninhabited planets.
We have a frame shift wake scanner on the ship. Does that help them at all, or is that not for this kind of thing?
Not really, because you're not trying to figure out where someone's jumped out to.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's navigational. Got it.
Yeah. However, as you brought that up, Harrison, you can use the, given the fact you are a smuggler and you use equipment not in the orthodox way, you can use the wake scanner if you get a high enough roll with your sensors to look for engine trails.
Okay.
Irish and Utari, what do you want to do?
I'm thinking we do a scan each.
Yeah,
Do it.
same.
Okay.
I'll do uninhabited.
I think. What's your scans? Because I think the person who has better scans should do the inhabited.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll do
My
uninhabited. My systems
my
is
systems
only 2.
my systems is also only 2, so it's the same either way then.
Well, I guess it's a coin flip then.
Yeah.
I actually rolled an all right systems check.
What did you get?
Me too.
Natural 15 plus 3 because I'm spec for it, just can't do it.
Okay. Harrison, you get it kind of cold would be the term. It's like tracking in the wilderness. You know, once a trail's been there a bit of time, you get other things falling on top, you get other people standing on it, things like that. But you are able to discern 3 very separate trails, all going towards what looks like a rocky outcropping in the middle of a jungle. They seem to all converge exactly the same place. You can't tell the type of ships, though. And there was also a 4th one that came from that place that terminated in a debris field of an anaconda.
That we just created.
Okay.
It found a mausoleum of our choosing.
Mr. Irish.
So I rolled a 16 on the dice, which means I got an 18 total.
Okay. Utari?
10.
Okay. I'll let you two decide which one is most important, the habited planet or the uninhabited planets.
Let's go habited. Let's make that
Alright.
important.
Sure.
Okay. From your scans, you, with your lovely 18 there, you are able to discern there is at least one satellite of some description in orbit of the habited planet. From its position, you can see it is above the same rocky outcropping. So it would be what we'd consider if it was over Earth would be geostationary.
Yes.
You get some sensor readings of other man-made objects in orbit, but there's nothing that really seems like it would be a threat to an armed and shielded anaconda. As for your other sensor sweep, it was pretty hard to see it, to miss it. There is a mining operation on the closest planet, and from the fumes that are being kicked up, it's obvious they are digging up large amounts of ore of some description. And on the second furthest planet out from the binary star system, someone has started construction of a shipyard.
Oof.
What do you want to do? You're all very quiet. You're all thinking. It's
Yeah.
really, really,
Thinking what we
it's
should
really,
do.
really dangerous. This is when you lot start thinking. I start worrying.
Welcome to being in the DM chair.
I like it when you're reacting. React for Gandalf.
That's a
So what I'm
difficult one.
thinking is we should maybe make a stealth run and check out the progress of the star station. What would it be, like a dock or a?
Mhm.
That would be the term, right? Because you're making ships at a dock.
Yeah, it would be basically it's a shipyard in the Elite Dangerous universe. Basically, only things like battle cruisers have to be built in space. Everything else can be built on a planet because they're all designed to be able to take off from a planet.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to do a stealth run on the shipyard.
Just check it out, because if it's not fully assembled yet, it doesn't have active sensors probably. It probably won't have any sort of major... It might have a military placement, it might have other things, but if it did, they probably would have reacted by now, given that we just blew up one of their commanders. However, that is Irish's suggestion. He is not going to take the reign on that.
This
given he is
individual
not flying the ship.
This individual tried to contact somewhere, right? Do we know
Yes,
that?
but your chaff interrupted his signal.
So we know that there's a possibility that they could scramble other fighters. I hazard a guess, while we're still silent, we try to use this. Honestly, I know we're here to report what we found here, but at the same time, I think it would be better to be able to report that once we've made sure that nobody can chase us.
Okay, Utari, your 2 cents.
See, I think the stealth run idea is pretty good though. I feel like we just don't have enough information for me to be able to make a informed decision of next action. I think we need more intel here. There's something up. Something smells fishy here that either the princess didn't know or we weren't told.
Jenkins, the old grandpowder.
I mean, stealth isn't my style, but it's a good idea to go. Even if we can see a logo or two.
Let's run silent and do a pass if we can then.
All right. Given the fact your ship is not built for stealth,
No, it is not.
and does not have like upgraded surveillance capabilities, mainly because they don't exist in the Elite Dangerous universe, you're going to have to all work together to A, keep your heat signature low, and B, run a very high sensor sweep of the shipyard as you use Newtonian physics to glide over it. So, for the stealth aspect, I will need someone to assist Harrison on the keeping the heat management and maneuvering to a minimum. The other two will have to run the high sensor sweep.
So my piloting is 3, but my sensors is 1.
You'd be better off assisting them while we keep the sensors going.
So
When it comes to... Go on.
I was just going to say, we do have the heatsink launchers.
We do, but that's the case of knowing when to fire them so they take
Yeah.
the most heat out of you.
Exactly. So
You can launch one just as you get into what would be you would think would be sensor range, which would bring your heat down to practically 0.
Mhm.
But it will build up as you continue to drift.
Right.
So you'd need to get it to the point where basically when you think you're going to be detected, launch another one. While piloting a ship and making sure you don't lose too much momentum from the gravity and things like that.
Fair.
When it comes to the sensor sweep, it's basically the same thing. Jenkins would help Harrison by giving advantage on all the skill checks. Whoever decides to do the sensor sweep, the other one would help with that by giving advantage. Or assist by using other skills. There are other skills that you may be able to use in your skill trees. Or karma points.
Cook some karma.
I only have one karma capability, and that's to essentially not die. No, legitimately, it is. It's called escape death, and basically I use all my karma. Yeah, I use all my karma points and don't die. And I do the the orc thing where you remain on 1 hit point.
Truthfully, all my karma points not work outside of inside of a spaceship. They're all for fighting.
I have
Really, Red?
I have a couple that work. But I do have one here called Ghost, which gives me a +4 bonus to stealth checks when following somebody.
That would work.
Yeah.
But it would only work if you were...
If I was flying, I assume.
If you were flying, yeah.
And my flying for ships is 3.
So if it's purely advantage, Irish could help, and I could give advantage to Atari.
You could.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You could. All right, so is that the plan? All right. Okay, so you basically fly very carefully and slowly using as little engine as possible. You still have to supercruise at some point to kind of get within range of the planet. Otherwise, it's going to take you days to get there rather than hours or minutes. But you drop out of supercruise as far away as possible to give yourselves enough time to set up and get everything sorted. Basically, you drop out about 10 kilometers away from the actual outer edge of the atmosphere, knowing that you should be okay at that range. It'll be distorted by background heat, radiation, things like that. You're still fairly close to a binary star, for crying out loud. And as you come in, you basically shut off all the stabilization thrusters and things like that, so throttle back the engines, and pop your first heat sink.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please strap in. It is showtime. Curtains are now opening and the crowd is around. Please keep an eye on our heatsink launcher and also be aware that the people that attacked us might have a check-in time with the main planet, so they might try and open sensors if that ship missed its check-in. So keep an ear out for that. But other than that, let's run code. Lights going down, and I'm just gonna like turn the cabin lights down as I. Please open any noisy snacks or sweets as we wrestle into the auditorium.
You just
Have
hear
you ever heard of Radio Silent?
You just hear like a bag of crisps just go.
All right. So, Utari and Red. Any skills you can use, you will need to roll 3 separate times. Utari, given the fact that Jenkins is helping you, you basically fob off the easy, repeatable tasks to kind of keep sensors optimized, things like that, moving around with various different filters to keep things as clear as possible for you as you glide over. Okay, so roll those 3 for me and just take note of the numbers. I'll be back to you in a second. Harrison and Quinn Irish. So, as you're going along, firstly, the first heatsink drops and it pops off the ship. Temperature in the reactor and everything drops down as close to absolute zero as you can possibly get. And then slowly starts to come back up. As you're cruising along quite happily, out of the front viewport, something catches your eye. It's a stealth satellite. The only reason you got it was because it was rotating. You've never seen a satellite like this before. It's got angular plating. Certain sections seem to be slightly reflective, and you realize that that's probably solar panels. But with the matte black painting on it and everything, you're lucky you actually caught it with that small glimpse. If you don't change course, you're going to hit it. But you know, if you do change course, two things will happen. One, you'll get an emissions signature go out. And two, your carefully planned heating time will be put off, and you're not entirely sure by how much.
So I have a cunning idea.
Okay.
Can we time our heating time to when we crash into it? Therefore, disguising the heating, the launching of the heatsink as that crash, and maybe that satellite, they might think it's an asteroid.
You could, but given the fact a completely uninhabited system for all intents and purposes, and suddenly a satellite goes offline when no asteroid was detected.
That's fair.
You are so lucky you got a 17 then.
I like that you're rolling for my brain.
Well, your character knows
Like-
more about the universe than you do. So
Yeah.
it's only fair.
My brain was going, just say, yes, of course you can. No, I can't do that. I've got to roll. Shit.
Right, so what I would suggest is we turn off the ship's newtonic suppressants.
Mhm.
Give it a little bit of a jolt, just a tiny amount, just enough to like move it down, because that's usually the fastest way to go, because you usually have more thrusters allowing you to dive more than climb.
Yep.
So just tap the dive button as hard, like for a second, and then let go of the suppressors, and it should just float down and out of the way of the satellite.
Okay. Okay, so that's what you decide to do.
That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I like that. I will try
Okay.
that. I will attempt that maneuver.
Okay, so you give yourself just a quick burst on the top side thrusters, and you just watch the whole ship sink slowly. The satellite coming forward just glides over the top. No problems at all. Absolutely fine. Then you realize, while your forward momentum is slowing, your downward momentum is increasing.
We get pulled into the traction of the planet's gravitational pull if we're not careful. Therefore, we need to correct back.
You're actually starting to skim the atmosphere, which is slowing your forward momentum, and the gravity is capturing the ship, bringing it further down.
Yeah. So we gotta correct there, but at least now we're inside the atmosphere, which would mean that the heat radiation from the thrusters would be more hidden by the planet. And in fact, we're pretty close to the star as well.
Yeah, that actually tracks.
Unless they've got planetary sensors and we've just like blown our cover.
No, we won't know that until we start getting shot at. So
True. Okay, let's correct back up if we can.
Okay, so you realize your error. Although really you had no other choice. And you just start pushing with the thrusters on the underside. You start seeing the ship rise. You give just a little bit of forward momentum, just a little push just to reacquire your drift speed. And everything goes according to plan. You slowly rise back up. You do a little burst out the top thrusters to re-level yourself and maintain your altitude above the atmosphere, and you continue to just float forward quite happily. Although, Harrison, you make a brief look down to your heat gauge, and while you know detectable heat is basically anything above 35%, you are now sitting at a very growing number of 25. Where you know at this point, you shouldn't be anything above 7.
heat of the stars.
Friction.
Oh, and friction too, yeah, from the atmosphere.
Well, we're burning up slightly.
Okay, while this is going on, Utari and Jenkins, what were your roles?
Bit of a fucking mixed bag. I've got a 5, a 12, and a 22.
Okay.
I've got a nat 20 in one of them.
That's absolutely fine. I'm quite happy for you if you're getting that. Okay, in the first batch of scans, Jenkins had a problem. There was something coming through on the sensor screen that was just... It doesn't make sense. It's like... You know the shipyard's there, but it's not there. So your first patch of sensor data is just completely corrupted, Utari. You take a quick run over and you kind of discuss it. Jenkins says the only time she's ever seen this is like Fed stealth tech. She has an idea, and you tried running the sensor scanning again, and you get some useful data back. There's obviously a power plant down there that's running out a lot of power, suggesting this isn't the final form of the shipyard. At the same time, it's inconclusive, would be the way that an intelligence officer would put it. But the third set, you don't know what she does, but she pinpoints everything. Every single problem that was in the previous sweeps evaporates. And you're able to just start pulling things that really you can't believe. You see ship types you've never seen before. Some, you'd say, are almost completely built. Others, the skeletons, if anything else. There's not many of them. In total, there's probably 6 actual shipyards, but there's plenty of space for more, and you can actually see 2 are already in the stage of being built and put together. But on one of the shipyards, you actually get a good, solid view over what you would consider to be a complete ship. The engine pods look remarkably the same as Nanaconda, but the bow and the midship of the ship looks like a strange amalgamation of a Federal corvette and an Imperial cutter. It's rather strange, the kind of sleek, bold lines of the Imperial cutter finish into, well, the squared off nose of a Federal corvette, and the rear end, while looking like an Anaconda's engine housing, it looks bulkier. There's what you consider to be weapons ports in places that don't make sense. One thing you do know, you'd never want to face this thing in combat. because you can see at least 4 large weapons ports in the midsection alone.
That's not good. And Utari would point out what he's seen.
Jenkins, when you look at the sensor screen, you understand you never want to take this place on foot. There aren't so much some ground defenses, as in, are there ground defenses? Yes. How many are there? Yes. In fact, you see more than 24 anti-air defenses as well, of a make you've never seen before.
This shit is weird. That ship's weird. There's a lot of ground defense for a place that nobody knows about. There's anti-air defense for a place that nobody knows about.
So,
And that ship looks imp and fed.
so you know how I was saying before we got here, that whole thing about somebody setting up a secret base on the fringes of someone else's territory, so that when they got here, they would have, capabilities as a forward operating base to deploy ships. And I'm just gonna point to Exhibit fucking A outside the window.
Okay. I'll let you two sit on that and think of any questions you might want to ask the GM later. As for the other two, you're at 28% heat, and you finally realized something that if you'd have rolled for it, you might have realized before. You are now actually in a network of satellites. That was just the first one you saw. Think of it as walking into a minefield. I will allow you to run a sensor check to see if you can detect any of them.
Yeah, we should.
Sure.
However, if you decide to run that, I will roll against you. Not to whether or not you detect anything, but whether you are detected.
You think it's worth it? Or do we just back out now because we have our images, we have our imaging, we have what we need really.
Yeah.
I say let's get out.
Yeah, I say we pull out. We've still got other sites to hit, and if we can keep stealthed while we enter Atmo on, say, the place that we were meant to be checking, like the main black site, I think we do that.
Okay, so you're going to try and slip away. Okay. Give me a spaceship handling with advantage.
Don't need it. That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's a natural 20 plus 5.
You suddenly realize you don't need to use your engines. No, not in the conventional way. You decide to try a risky maneuver.
Am I going to slingshot the atmosphere?
You're going to slingshot the atmosphere. You decide to get as low as possible so you can get underneath the orbit of the satellites, but above the atmosphere, which is not the greatest atmosphere. It's kind of like the atmosphere of Mars. It's meh. And over a period of about 20 minutes, you're able to slowly gain enough momentum that you escape the gravity. It takes, roughly speaking, about 2 orbits of the planet, which is not exactly big. But then you just fly out. The second you get far enough away that you would be out of normal planetary defense sensor range, you light up your main engines. Park yourself just nicely outside of everyone's kind of sensor range. Quick sensor check. No one seems to be in pursuit. There's no issues or anything like that. What do you do next then? You all come together. Utari, you tell them exactly what you found. Jenkins, you go off on a little kind of tear or rant of how this is completely insane. No one builds ships like this, and whoever decided they should build ships like this is the kind of person you should allow to have steak and chips tomorrow for dinner.
That's a weird tangent.
Yes, it is. Come on, I've gone this long without a fourth wall break.
Yeah, I was gonna...
You guys explain about the satellites that wouldn't show up, how they're a little bit of a... We need to be careful of these. We almost had to make a decision whether we destroyed one. So, you now have, basically, 3 options. One, you know that there's a mining operation on one of the unpopulated worlds. You know about your lovely planet of jungle and where the ships lead to. And there's at least 2 other unpopulated worlds in this system. But they're a little bit further out, so you don't know what's on them, if anything.
Okay, so this shit's weird. And truthfully, honestly, however lovely the princess is, and however much we're all indebted for our lives, I say get to the base and get out.
Well, the objective wasn't to deal with the problem directly unless we could. The alternative objective was also simply to gather intelligence that they could action. This certainly seems to be in that ballpark, so I'd agree.
To be fair, it's tempting to take the pictures of that monstrosity because, let's be honest, the nose on a clipper and the body of a Federal Corvette is a much better looking ship, but, you know, choices were made. And take that back and see what they make of that, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get your ass off the line.
Put it this way. Either way, somebody here is making warships in unoccupied space. You don't for any of even my use, like smuggling use for any long haul, any large ship, that can all be done on planet side. Someone is making a dedicated shipyard here to do one thing and one thing only. Well, it could be 2 things. This does not look like a colony ship.
But that's normally fine. That's normally fine because Gutamaya have shipyards and Core Dynamics have shipyards, and they're all perfectly fine, legal, indentured servitude on one of them. You know, the normal stuff.
Those are designs.
That is the 2 main ships combined, plus another, what looks like a bloody anaconda on the back of it. So it's almost like 3 ships are combining, 3 ship designers, or... That shit's weird, because we're real territorial. I still call him him.
Yeah, so someone's making something undetectable. So either someone's playing a new game, or someone's trying to pull a fast one. And the only thing that we don't have the answer to is who the princess can blame. So let's find that out and get the fuck out of here.
So, where do you want to go?
I think we want to try and sneak towards that black site, and I think we're going to try and do that. We're going to land not at it and try and get at it using the vehicles.
Are we all agreed on this?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Let all these people that have ground skills get to use on their ground skills while I can use my vehicle piloting ground skill.
Okay. So you fire up the engines again. Doing your normal, we're trying to keep as low profile as possible. Everybody give me a systems or sensor check. 13?
I got an 8.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
Oof. 18.
Was that a natural 1, Utari? Okay, Irish, as you're moving back to your seat, the ship starts moving under your feet, which only seasoned space travelers actually ever get used to, like yourself. For half a second, your sensor screen lights up with an energy disturbance back on the planet you've just left, and then disappears.
I think we got something on sensors.
I didn't see anything.
I saw something.
Did it look like a message or a ship?
Or a missile.
Yes, a missile from a message ship. Sorry, Rival, what did I think it was? When I saw it
You
flash?
don't know. You have no idea. You just saw an energy disturbance back on the planet that you just left.
Right. So yeah, I'm going to tell. Yeah, it looks like an energy disturbance on the planet we just left. Like, big enough that it popped up for a flash and then left.
Not a ship. It would take too long to get into Atmo before they could cut the engine.
That being said, we don't know what's on those ships that we can't identify.
Truthfully though, I'm more worried about a message. A message can go light speed. We'd have to up to there. That's a smug smile.
Midge,
Mhm.
take 200 off your shields.
A missile.
As you are all thrown from your feet. The impact of something hits your rear shields, and it actually moves the whole ship. It knocks out your controls for 2 to 3 seconds. Newtonian physics takes over, and you are drifting for a good 15 seconds as the systems try to reboot.
Well, this just got a whole lot bumpier. I think stuff's out the window and I'm going speed.
One second. Shit, it's a 3. Okay. So you're going full speed?
I'm gonna start taking a base evasive action and moving away at speed, and I'm gonna say, somebody get me a sensor scan on what the fuck that was.
I will get him a sensor scan of whatever the fuck that was.
Okay.
Would you like a piloting
If
roll?
you would like help, you can take help of other people.
I'd love help.
Would you like a piloting roll from me, Rival?
Not yet.
I'll help with the sensors.
You'll help with the sensors?
Natural 19 for 21.
Okay. You're not sure exactly what that was. What you can say is that it was moving about 2% of the speed of light and originated from the approximate position of the almost completed ship on the planet's surface.
I don't know exactly, but it's probably from one of the anti-air guns that I saw.
Okay. You also notice a very large heat signature radiating from the same location.
Be that then.
Okay. Could you give me your spaceship roll now, please?
That's a natural 6 for a total of 11.
The ship's controls are still a little sluggish. There's basically a number of systems on your right panel and your left panel that's still being rebooted. Engines are not one of them, but they're not exactly working at full power. They've got very many like subsystems that have to be brought online in order for them to be fully efficient and produce enough power. Mikey, you are keeping a close eye on your sensor screen at the heat bloom that is forming, and you see another flash of data.
We got another one incoming. Evasive.
Give me a spaceship roll again. As you know which direction it's coming from, give yourself an additional +2. It's not a surprise now.
That's a total of a 16.
The ship, you're kind of struggling with the controls. They're not responding the way they want them to. Then it's like a domino effect down the right-hand side of the ship console. You just get green, 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 and suddenly there's a massive surge of power. You can see the target, or the implement coming towards you. You see it disappear at the cockpit window to your left, and then reappear in the cockpit window to your right almost instantly. There's nothing, no impact, no nothing. It goes for what seems like 2 or 3 seconds and then explodes, and it's almost like a nuclear explosion. Which, of course, EMP slams into your shields, taking another 50 off. And your systems go haywire again.
How much off was that? Sorry?
50.
Okay. Down to 180 already on shields, friends.
Can I head back down to the back turret
Mm-hmm.
and try doing a Battlestar Galactica and knocking missiles out?
You're trying to hit something that's running at 2% the speed of light.
Yeah, no.
So just
It's a long
flak fire, essentially. I'm going. I'm getting out the range. This thing. We
Where
are not
are
equipped.
you going?
I want to. Do we leave the system or do we?
Is there an asteroid belt or rings or anything?
You would have to get to the next closest planet, which is where the mining operation is. They do have a ring around that particular planet as well.
Rings are good places to hide.
I'll take the advice. Let's head towards those rings.
It's not as far as like a normal kind of planetary hop would be. These seem to be twin worlds. They're not orbiting each other, but they seem to be orbiting very closely. So you can literally floor your engines. It'd take you about 15 minutes in sublight flight to make it. But if you're okay to do it. All right. Midge, do me a spaceship handling. If you get above a 15, you remember that you can put all power to engines, which will cut down your travel time.
Is anyone assisting me in any way?
I told you where to go.
Yep.
But
And Mikey's got his eyes fixed on that sensor screen because for some reason he's been able to spot it because of amazing roll. Utari, what are you doing?
Alright, it'd probably be better if I was... sending some people to the ground, aren't we? So... probably be better if I go and investigate. So I'm just really struggling to think tonight.
That's all right.
That's right.
No,
I'll tell you what, you are going to help Harrison with piloting the ship because he's being overwhelmed with all the critical problems going on the ship.
We're being shot at pretty heavily right now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
thought we'd actually dodged it, but no.
No. Not yet. We're working on it. So you decide you're going to, it's like, okay, so the crazy gun nut is going to try and shoot down things that are moving ridiculously fast. Irish seems to be consumed by that sensor screen. I'm going to try and help reset systems to get the engines back online and get us the fuck out of here. Sounds like a plan. I like your thinking there, Utari. Mikey, roll me a sensor, please.
You got it.
Oh,
That's a 19, so a 21.
You literally have figured out how these are being detected by the ship. It's not actually the missile, the object that you're detecting. It's the firing plume. Only it doesn't make sense. The firing plume, if you're reading the data right, is 20 kilometers above the surface of the planet.
The satellites? No, that's not high up enough to be a satellite, I don't think.
So you've seen another round coming in.
So I let everybody know, hey, we got another one incoming. Also, the launching point looks like it's 20 meters off the surface of the planet. We might have an enemy ship on the way out here. We need to get the fuck out of the system.
Okay. Midge, you've got an assist. So if you need to re-roll,
I
you
already
can.
have.
And?
It was worse, so we're going with the original roll.
What's the original roll?
So that's a natural 4.
Oh my God,
Plus-
you're worse than a 4.
Yeah, I got a 2 the next time.
Oh.
So it's a natural 4 plus 5.
Yeah. You got a 9. Okay. The ship is wallowing is the best way I can describe it. It's almost like connections have been kind of jolted out of housings and things like wires are hanging out places. You literally grab Utari, throw him in the pilot's seat, and go under the console because you know something's disconnected from somewhere. And you need to get these things reattached. Technical. We need a technical choice.
There's repair.
Go for it.
It's not my best. Vehicle repair. It's only a +1 on this one, so.
Yeah, I'm only a +1 as well.
Somehow still better than everything else I've been rolling. That's a 15.
Okay. Is that 15 total?
Yes.
Okay. It takes you a couple of seconds. You're under there. You're scrambling around. Just what the hell's going on? Then you suddenly move a bundle of wires. And the main thrust control wire drops completely out of its housing and lands like there.
Huh.
Oh, that makes so much sense now. You
That's
ram
not
it and you
good.
slam it back into the port. you realize it's actually broken the clip that would hold it in place. So you're like, Utari, you're going to have to keep driving. I've got to hold this in. Utari, as far as you're concerned, suddenly the panel lights up with pure greens. You grab the throttle, you slam it in as hard as you can. The whole ship just jerks forward like it's suddenly been released from captivity and it's going for wild open plains. Give me an evasion check. Spaceship piloting. Just spaceship piloting. I'll take that.
I've already got a 1 on the bonus.
Come on.
11.
Okay, you're kind of taken off guard by the way the ship kind of just jolts out of it. You kind of lose control of the controls column, and you grab hold of it. You yank it to the left to try and regain the roll that's turning to the right, and you see the shot shoot past the front of your ship. You need to be a 9. You're a moving target now. They're having more trouble.
Well, I suppose that's good.
Yep. Okay. Mikey. One more time.
One time.
That's a 17, so a 19 total.
Okay, 19 total. You're not entirely sure what's happening. The target that all these things are being fired from is now 50 kilometers above the surface, passing the perimeter of the satellites that you know are there, and seems to have, well, yeah, seems to be now in orbit.
It's in orbit, and we got another missile on the way.
No, there's no missile.
You know, no missile.
No
but
missile at all.
something's in orbit. Something's in orbit around that planet all of a sudden.
The heat plume coming off it is extreme. You've never seen a ship that could get that hot before. But
Whatever that thing is, it's running damn hot.
But at no time do you see the ship coming apart or anything. It's almost like it's just now sitting there lazy like any other ship you've ever seen. But at the same time, you can't get a good view of it because, 1, heat distortion, and 2, you're getting no record as to what type of ship it is. It's coming back error.
Yep.
Just imagining like those Gmod error graphics, like just in orbit now.
Yeah.
Anyway, after a tense 9-10 minutes, Utari guides the ship gracefully into the waiting arms of an asteroid belt.
Can I find the duct tape?
You can find the duct tape.
Just bring it over. Just.
Okay. You are safe for now.
Got our shields.
What do you want to do? Shields have been recharging for the last 10 minutes as you've been traveling. There was no other shots.
Cool. Okay, so there's someone
I
else
will
in-
say this. If you hadn't made a certain maneuver with a very good roll, by the way, young man, you would not have a shields left and you'd probably be lost half your hull.
Right, so there's someone in orbit here. Do we cut our losses, run, get the information back?
We can, because we have enough information now to be like, whatever is here, it is a private military operation, and they have managed to, what's the phrase? Design or maybe like hack together a cutter and an imperial manufacturer, yeah. A cutter and a federal corvette, and all of a sudden, like that's like, even if the cutter isn't great, the corvette brings that into its own level. So I don't want to be fighting that. That seems like a terrible idea.
Well, they're doing scrap heap challenge, but with battle cruisers.
Yeah, they are.
What we could do is head back to the princess and swap this big old wonderful thing for something a bit lighter and sneakier if they want us to come back, because their protective conta's gone. So unless they replace that,
They might replace it with the thing that just orbited, though.
And that thing quite literally would have probably killed us if we didn't get out of the way.
I'm gonna tap Utaro. I'm gonna like pat Utaro on the back and say, "Good driving, good driving." I've gotta go.
Okay, so what is the plan?
We really need to find out who these people are in some fashion. That's really the biggest action. We don't need to necessarily deal with the problem, we just need to know who it is.
So what I'm thinking is, if we need to know who it is, we should go to the black site, not on the, nowhere near the shipyard where we just got shot from. Because at least that one, it's away from that, and it makes us harder to see because we're further away. There's more distance. We can continue to use our heat sinks if we need to.
And I don't think we should go running cap in hand back to the princess or their agent for a replacement ship for this, for a different one. I think that might take a while, even if they were going to entertain it.
Someone needs to stay with the ship, though, if we do go to the planet. Because if all four of us go to that site and get fucked,
I can keep the engine running. Figuratively.
To that end, you do know that if you can get yourself into orbit and continue like a stealth setup on, say, the dark side of the planet away from the stars, you can effectively stay in a stealth mode for pretty much an indefinite period. The only problem would be if they were on the opposite side of the planet. You wouldn't be able to offer them any sensor data or communications.
but in saying that, we could go to the outcrop at night.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hit it at night time. I don't think we can risk me being out of sensor range, comms range with you guys, because if you guys need to get out quickly, I need to be able to swoop in, pick you up, get the heck out, and then just boost it for home.
Because you staying in orbit isn't actually going to take you up to any heat, because acceleration is what causes the heat. If you're in orbit, the planet keeps you in orbit.
We don't have drop pods, though.
No.
You have to land, drop us off in the vehicles, and go back up again.
Or I stay on the ground.
Or you stay on the ground, you stay parked.
Yeah, just stay parked and be ready with the doors open. Essentially, the doors open.
Have you never seen Aliens? They sat on the ground with the doors open, and both pilots got killed.
It's usually not a good idea.
Yeah.
Door closed, but okay. Okay, sat on the ground with the meter running.
Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah. Okay, so that's the plan, is it? We're going to go for... All right. Okay, so you kind of sit down. You all kind of figure it out. There's a couple of attempts to kind of move to the cockpit seat and whatnot. Harrison goes, no, the shields aren't done yet. They've become kind of your talisman due to the fact that no one's been able to breach them yet, and you're not going to willing to go into any kind of shady situation without doing that. While planning the route, though, you do realize it's going to take you a little bit of time to get there, because the shortest route runs straight past the shipyard. So you run a more circumvent route. But sure enough, in about half an hour's time, you are parked in orbit above a lush and verdant green world with what look like streams on the planet's surface going out to the main sea. you know from experience that once you get down there, those things are going to be like half a mile across and rushing water and stuff. But it looks peaceful up here. Okay, so you know where the outcropping is, which now you're closer, you realize is not so much an outcropping as what looks like where two tectonic plates have met. And part of a mountain has fallen away as they've been moving. Currently, it's on the sunny side of the planet, getting bathed in the dual sun's radiation, and everything looks so beautiful below you. Harrison, you do find a nice landing zone about 10 kilometers away from where you would need to be. However, to get to it, you'd have to fly a fairly interesting route through what would be on the Earth a river valley in order to maintain a low chance of being detected by any base sensors. Could you give me a spaceship flying check, please?
Help him.
Not on this. This is one of those times where he's going to have to be hyper-focused on himself. So anyone going, try this, do that, would put him off.
Okay.
What you got?
Pick a dice.
I've rolled.
And?
It's a 10.
Not
Total.
too bad. You come in a bit steeper than you really like. You do have to pull up pretty hard. You clip the side of a mountain on the way down. There's a few hundred trees that no longer have roots because they've been torn off. You do lose about 80 shields, but other than that, it's not too bad. You think you got down fast enough that anyone watching like outside looking up at the sky would maybe see something, but that's debatable. It would have been worse if you'd come down at night, because you know that the angle you came down at was too steep. You misjudged the atmosphere. It's a very high oxygen and nitrogen concentrate, which means it's visual if you hit it just right. You do get there without any issues to your landing zone. You find it's just big enough for a Condor to land in. It looked a lot bigger from orbit.
Sure.
You settle down on the 4 landing legs of the Condor and deploy the 2 vehicle hangars. Okay, who's driving?
Not me, I'm on one of the turrets.
Okay. So you gentlemen are driving the 2 vehicles. We've got, was it 2 Explorers, or do we have a Scorpion as well?
We have we have 2 times VXRVs.
Okay, yeah. The exploration vehicles, no problems at all. Not the most heavily armored or armed, but excellent for getting around annoying locations. You're able to use them for about 7 kilometers before you start getting into the kind of really rocky terrain. And you realize that you're probably best off parking these somewhere where they won't be easily found and doing the last 2 to 3 kilometers on foot. Utari, you're constantly looking at what your watch is saying, and you realize that after everything that's happened, you've really only got about 4 hours left.
Yeah.
Which the time pressure's on, and you relay that to your companions.
Yeah, I forgot there was a time.
Yes, not much of one, but there is one. Anyway, are you staying on the planet's surface, Harrison? Right. Okay. They report in where they are. They're going to start walking. Give me a sensor check.
Hey, dice, don't fuck me now.
Audience, they fucked him.
That's a total of a 6 right there. That's a 3 plus 3.
Okay. You can't really tell what's what. You're going to have to spend some time refining the sensors because you're just getting life forms all over the place. It's obvious that it's a jungle world. There's going to be other life forms, but you can't differentiate between human and, well, natural.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only reason you know your 3 comrades are actually on the planet is because you've got their locator beacons that tell you where they are.
Yep.
Otherwise, if they didn't have them, you wouldn't even know where they were.
Oh boy. Okay.
As for the other 3, you leave your vehicles, you start walking through the rocks, and what basically starts off as a rock turns into a boulder, turns into a larger boulder, turns into what you could quite happily chisel a house out of. And then you come to a large clearing. It's about 30 meters across. Strangely, though, there's barely any pebbles on the ground. It's all hard, compacted sand. Ahead of you, you hear, "No! No! No! No!" And ahead of you, you see what looks like a 6-foot, half bear, half gorilla. An amalgamation. It's huge. In fact, it's kind of terrifying. It looks at you, staring straight at you. Pounds the ground.
I'm gonna back up slowly.
Looks directly at you, going, "No!"
Backing away, backing away.
Is the clicking coming from somewhere else?
Clicking is coming from behind you. It picks up a massive, what you could only say would be a stick to something of that size, slams it into the ground.
I checked my rear view. Is there anything behind us?
Yeah, there's something behind you. I'm just trying to find a picture of it.
Oh, lovely.
Brad, where's the picture of it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Arr.
Ahead of you is what's known as a rock runner.
Okay, so that's the ape bear thing.
Yep. Behind you, you see something that you can only describe as Rival's nightmare.
Oh,
An
right.
8-legged arachnid of some kind, hanging from the wall, its jaws out, ready to grab Jenkins around the throat from behind. From its jaws, you see 2, what look like you could only say are teeth, and something is dripping from them. All at once, it retracts and lets out that back in the direction of the rock runner.
I think we've got to let these guys fight it out.
Yeah.
Kaiju fight. Kaiju fight. Kaiju fight.
Utari, you start grabbing Jenkins by the shoulder and pulling her slowly towards you. And as you turn around, pulling her away from the Mordrek spider, you realize you're in more trouble than you realized. As the rock runner, which is about 7-8 feet tall, is joined by two 12-foot tall rock runners who move in front of it in a defensive posture.
That's a cub.
Okay, that was the baby.
That's
That
the
was a
baby. That's the baby. That's the wee baby. So it is. That's the wee baby.
And they charge.
Oh.
Can we get out the way?
If I was Roach right now, I'd be saying roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative.
It's too late.
It's too late to run for initiative.
Okay.
Well, in this case, it's tactics instead of initiative.
It's kind of the same thing, really.
Yeah.
14.
So we need to
14.
roll that. Oh, baby. That's a 10 from me, Chief.
That's a 10.
Bold of you to put your own hatred in as a creature in this.
You ain't
Bold
seen
of
the
you to be
picture.
like, What did you say it was called?
Mordrake spider. Just be
Mordred.
thankful I've not used the Mortis claw, because that's even worse. You okay there, Utari?
Yeah. 18.
18. Okay, so it was 18,
14.
14, and sorry,
Mike.
Mikey.
10.
for Mike.
10. Okay. Okay, Utari, you're going first.
Oh, fuck. Alright, we're just gonna pull out a long barrel laser pistol.
Okay, and you are pulling it out. You're grabbing Jenkins and pulling her away from the Mordrake spider. Recognizing the danger, Jenkins not knowing what the hell is going on behind her because she never turned round.
I did. I just didn't say it out loud. I emoted.
You emoted, okay. You pull out your long barrel pistol. Where are you shooting?
Which are the ones closest to us?
The Mordrake spider is much closer than anything
Yeah,
else.
I'm gonna have to go after the spider.
Okay.
See if I can hit him right between the jaws.
Okay, roll your attack. You can use any skill that you think will benefit you.
So I've got energy weapons with a bonus of 2.
Okay. Now remember, your long barrel, is that the one that fires
Yes.
kinetic rounds, but they actually turn to plasma after it's been fired?
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Okay, no problems.
And they're all fantastic. That is 19, 21.
21. Okay. Effectively a critical hit.
Yes.
You pull out reflex. Bang. Recoil just pushes you back a bit. It's got a bit more kick than you were used to. You know, this long barrel is definitely keeping the muzzle velocity up. The Mordrake spider literally it slams into its carapace. And while you think you've not done anything at first, it's like it's absorbed the hit quite happily. It kind of shifts back up the wall and screeches at you, no! Straight at you. Literally looking at those two mandibles open up and the two, what you can only call teeth, fold out and start dripping with whatever venom is coming from them. Straight at you. Well, you think it's straight at you. You can't tell because of all the eyes. As it backs up the wall, trying to... It's right one of its front right legs aren't moving properly, and then the carapace cracks and falls away, and you can see the kind of pulsating red muscle controlling the leg, holding there. Okay.
Lamb?
Are you finished with your turn, sir?
I've done the attack.
Yep.
I suppose just continue like trying to back off while dragging.
Are you backing up towards the rock runners, or are you backing off to the side?
I think towards the side because
You're going towards the side. Okay, no problems at all. Jenkins.
Okay, so I'm going to keep moving, getting out of the way of the charge.
Yep.
And I'm going to... How big is this dude's mouth?
It can quite happily take a fully built up marine mercenary soldier neck in it with extra space because it was going to impale you.
Nice. So if I threw well, could I throw a grenade in its mouth?
No, it would bounce off. It's wide, not big.
Okay.
You would also, if you were going to try and throw a grenade at it, you would have to... You'd have to time it as well. It's on a wall, not on the ground.
That's fair. Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So I'm just going to be sat on the ship. I've turned on the coffee maker. I'm like fabbing myself. Like I'm guessing we've got some sort of fabricator that makes food. So I'm just prefabbing myself.
Yeah, the machine going bzz, 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 as it fabricates out a sausage for you.
Dude.
Tastes a bit plasticky, but
Yeah. All the while the sensors are just like whoop, whoop, and I just turn them off in the background.
As a Mordrek spider crawls across the bow.
Nope. just nope.
Red, what are you doing?
Trying to find my gun.
You put them on your sheet.
I did, but I didn't put all the details on. So,
Okay.
am I about 20 meters away?
15. You're being dragged back by Utari.
Okay, so I'm going to pull out my carbine.
Yeah.
And shoot it at this thing.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Woo!
Okay.
Let's
Is it a
go.
burst fire weapon?
The carbine?
Yeah. Should sound the damage.
It's just pure 10.
Just a pure 10. Okay. All right. So you're kind of stumbling backwards. You grab the carbine off, your hip holster type thing, pull it up, and just let loose with a volley. The natural training takes over. You don't actually get it all the way up to your eyes. You're trying to get it into your shoulder and everything, but you manage to just pull it just at the right time, and you see its right leg just explode off through the hole in the carapace, and and it suddenly recoils. And then it in almost a, I don't know, a vengeful kind of. You can only assume that's what it is. It fires barbs of hair from its thorax at the back. It lifts it up and just give me both Utari and Red. You have an evasion stat.
I got dodge.
Dodge.
Dana, what is your dodge?
Mine is a 4.
Okay.
Just rolled 18 plus 3, 21.
Yeah, roll your thing as well, Red.
God damn, I'm so glad I'm not here. I have a dodge of 1.
11 plus 4, so 15.
All right, Utari, you dive to one side as the barbs come at you. You just see them go off, hit. Unfortunately, Jenkins, you're not as lucky. Just as you're diving to the side, you feel one slam into your arm. At first, it's like, son of a bitch, and then you feel a pulsating, burning sensation just ripping through your arm. You go to touch the barb and realize it's covered in some kind of venom that burns even when you touch it with just your skin.
Can I backtrack?
Yep.
If I added 2 to that,
How?
With duck,
Is that a...
it's a karma.
Okay.
Gain a +2 bonus to your defense dodge against an attack that would hit you.
You would match the roll for the attack, so I would give you the fact that you just missed. But you would be prone.
I'm good with prone.
Okay.
Right, I'm spending the karma.
Okie dokie. Utari, as you see Jenkins hit the deck, you're worried for a second that Jenkins is hit, but she starts rolling and you see she's okay. You look back to where the barbs that would have hit you have hit, and they've hit the rock behind you. And the rock is melting.
Glad I missed that.
Then hear a no as this wall of rock just powers past you. As one of the rock runners is charging at full blast, and you realize it's charging through where you used to stand. Mikey.
All right, I'm stepping back, and
Yep.
I'm pointing my... Hang on, let me check the name of this weapon. My Vortigin multiscope at the giant spider pain in the ass. And I'm going to let her rip.
Okay, what? Roll your attack. And in your case, could you tell me what damage you do if you do any damage?
20.
You do 20, excellent. Okay.
20 flat.
Spooky.
That's a 13 plus a 5, so an 18 to hit.
Okay. Sure enough, you do hit it. You hit it where those barbs came from. It was still forward, and it's trying to back its way up the wall. And you hit it in that sack, and you don't know what happened, but the whole thing just suddenly goes. And almost doubles its speed to get back up the wall. Around that time, Utari, you're just watching this rock runner just go pounding past you, and you hear.
There's more of them.
We got a fucking nest there. Like, I think we need to just get out before we just die.
As soon as Mikey, have you finished your move, or are you wanting to move yourself to anywhere?
The charging bears aren't charging at me. They're out of my way. Well, I'm out of their way. This is the
Yep.
most important bit. As long as I'm out of their way and I can still see my two other comrades, I'm happy enough to like be somewhere where they can see past me and I can see past them, and
Okay.
some sort of lines of cover.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Utari, you've just watched one go by you, and you see the other one just it's like they've seen a target, they're gonna kill it, and it doesn't matter how they get there, they're gonna get there. However, the third one is going full pelt and then stops right in front of you, between you and the Mordrake. It's got its back to you. And now it's your turn.
Is that the baby?
So, has it seen me?
Yeah, it saw you.
I'm just gonna have to shoot it.
It might be trying to protect you.
Does it look aggressive towards
No.
me?
Towards you? No. Looks...
All right. Well, I'm leaving it be then. If that's the case.
Okay. What are you doing then?
I'm trying to think, like, we need to get out of this situation. It's going to kill us if we stick around. So I'm looking for an opening where we could retreat.
Okay, so you want to look for an opening? No problems at all. You turn back to the route you were taking before you suddenly ran into this particular situation and look basically back east the way you were going. That's when you realize there's two more Mordrake spiders coming over the wall from that direction.
Jesus Christ.
And something bigger behind them.
And what is this? Something bigger?
You
Well,
can't
comes
get
back.
a good view of it yet. You just
Utari's
see.
gonna call out saying something else is coming. Something big.
Okay. Okay, if you want to take a shot at the first Mordrake spider, you can.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay, well, the first one that's coming over the rise. Okay. So do your roll, sir. And could you tell me your damage if and when you hit?
Right, so 15 plus 60, 17. And where's my d10s?
Good.
That is 3. Not the best roll. 1 and a 2.
All right, no problems. No problems at all. Okay, so you take your shot. It's a snapshot, but you definitely hit it. It seems to have hit a harder part of the armor, though. You were fairly lucky with your first shot. So you can tell it's kind of like wow, but realizes it's been hit. Looks up, looks right at you. Then the next one, and then behind them. Oh, Jenkins.
Hi, yes. So I'm gonna bound away as far as I can
Okay.
whilst pulling out my rail rifle.
Yeah.
But rather than loading that,
Yeah.
loading a plasma grenade into the underslung grenade launcher
Okay.
and aiming it at the group of spiders.
Okay, so you're aiming at the group of spiders. What kind of damage does your plasma grenade do?
80.
80. Okay. All right. I am going to need you to do 2 attack rolls. If you pass 1 out of the 2, you load the grenade launcher with no problems. If you pass both of them, you fire it quite happily.
Okie dokie. So I roll an attack.
Yep.
And this is going to be my... Is it going to be my grenades I'm adding on?
Yes, you would add your grenade damage on.
So 18 for loading.
Okay. No problems there then.
And 4 for hit.
No, you miss. So you manage to get the grenade in. You go up to take your shot and you... Nah, I'm not going to get this. I need to reposition.
I didn't actually launch it yet.
You didn't launch it. Given the fact you were going to take out a brand new weapon, load it, and then fire it, that's a little bit much for one turn.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, and I'm still yeeting.
You're yeeting... What, you're going to throw something now?
Oh, no, I'm yeeting myself out.
Oh, okay, you're yeeting yourself out. Fair enough. You continue to move away from where the rock runners are going kind of mental, as we now find out. The first one doesn't so much as hit the Mordrake as collapse the Mordrake. To the point where the second one stops probably about 10 meters past you, Utari. Literally kind of skids to a stop, turns around, looks at the other Mordrakes coming over the thing, and goes, "Ah!" And starts again in the other direction. Mikey,
Yeah.
what would you like to do?
I'm doing a quick shoulder check. Make sure there's no one behind me.
No one behind you. Okay, you have no one behind you.
Cool. Do I see the one that is not dead? The one that Utaria shot at?
You can see it quite clearly, yes. And you can see its partner sitting next to it, screaming at Utari.
How far away are they?
They are about 40 meters away.
That's fine. That's more than within range for the multi-scope.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot the one that Utari has already shot. Focus on fire.
Yep.
That's a natural 20.
Okay, that's definitely going to be a hit. Give
For
me
a
your
total
damage.
of 25 for 20 damage flat.
20 damage flat. You pull out. You know, you realize there's nothing around you. You can basically hear the first Mordrake spider life coming to an end. Well, you assume it's coming to an end. The rock's life that it was on is definitely come to an end.
Yes.
And the other rock runner has turned and just started pelting it towards it. This group that has suddenly appeared. You line up. You pull the trigger. You see the bullet go straight through the outer carapace and out the other side.
Mm.
And there's just a shower of green blood and bits and pieces. And it starts trying to back up, but it can't. It gets to so far, and then suddenly it's like it half falls and is half propelled forwards, and it lands on its back and starts scrambling to get up as the mortis claw behind it comes over the hill.
Isn't that the thing that you said you weren't going to throw at us?
Yeah, it was. But you started
And then we
dealing with
started
the other.
winning.
You started dealing with the Mordrake spider too fast. It was supposed to be like 3 more Mordrakes come, and you just decided to take them all down dead quickly because you're just so freaking evil. Keep getting your fights, and you won't freaking just
Freaking lose already.
Finish.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mortis claw comes over the hill. It looks like a heavily armor-plated mix between an ant and a scorpion. Only about 18 feet long.
It looks like the giant ants from Fallout New Vegas.
No idea, haven't played it.
Great game.
And has a mouth that you would be quite happy with, Red Moogle. When it opens it, it's just a bed of teeth.
Lovely, thank you.
Like a shark, you know, like they have multiple layers, I suppose.
Okay. Utari.
Yeah.
The third rock runner, the smaller of the three, turns, roars with everything he's got, but it sounds so small compared to all the other cries of the wild you've heard in the last 10 seconds. And it takes a step forward, puts its right arm out, and pushes you back away from the oncoming attack.
Wait. It pushes me out of the way. Did you just say?
Yeah, just kind of puts its arm out in front of you and sweeps back so you go backwards.
Okay.
And then moves towards Jenkins and attempts to do the same.
Aww. No, my heart.
And you were gonna kill it, you heartless fiend. Your turn, Utari. What do you want to do?
Are there more Spidey spiders to shoot at?
Plenty more Spidey spiders.
I will shoot at the spiders.
Which one would you like to shoot at?
The Mortis Claw. The Mortis Claw. The fucking Mortis Claw. The
Yes.
Mortis Claw.
You're gonna fire at the Mortis Claw. Okay. Fire away.
Oh yeah, 19 plus
19?
hold on, plus 2, 21.
21. Okay, what is your damage, sir?
5.
Okay. You fire. You hit its front left claw. It's using it to kind of drag itself forward. It's like its body's too heavy for its legs. So it's doing this kind of... with this tail up in the air, just quivering. You hit its left claw. You can see where you hit it, but I don't know. It looks like the armor plate warmed up, but that's it. Anything else you'd like to do?
Find a rock to quickly dodge behind.
Okay, fair enough. You notice a little outcropping of loose rocks that have gone, so you kind of duck behind that. That seems to make your new rock friend focus less on you. Okay. Jenkins.
Hi, yes. So, new frog friend, adorable.
Yeah.
I'm going to gently put my hand on it.
Yeah.
Step in front.
Yeah.
Launch my grenade at that fucker.
Yeah.
And then go behind the rock cropping because I know that the rock runners want me to get out of the way, but I'm trying to protect them too.
Okay. Okay, so you want to fire your grenade launcher.
Want to fire my grenade launcher so that it kind of tries to land a bit behind because I don't want anything apart from the claw in the sort of fatal range, which is 8 meters.
Okay, fair enough. So you're going for the Mortis Claw.
Oh god, yes. Have you seen that thing?
Yes,
That
actually.
thing's ugly.
Yes, actually, I have.
That thing's ugly. Got a face even his mama don't love.
Okay, go for it. Later.
8.
You fired an 8. And you wanted it to be 8 meters away.
I wanted it to land 8 meters in the radius of the Mortis Claw,
Right.
but definitely be at least 20 meters away from that.
Okay. and you hit an 8.
Do you
Yeah.
have any of your karma things you could spend to make that better?
Let's have a look.
Maybe you should check that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a good idea, Red.
I can make it a. No, I can't. Nope. I got absolutely nothing.
Okay, no problems. So you fire your grenade. You wanted it to land within 8 meters. I'm guessing that's because that's the blast radius of the plasma.
That's a fatal radius.
Okay. You actually overshoot. And you land about within 10 meters of the mortis claw. But one of the Mordrake spiders that was on its back, kind of trying desperately to get up, evaporates. Whereas the mortis claw, it takes the hit, but like Utari and his plasma rounds, it's like you bathed it in radiation, and its plates are now, entire body is now glowing red with heat.
We need to go.
Agreed there.
Okay. Rock runner number 2 in full charge grabs basically a rock off the ground as it's going. Just in one hand, just picks it off the ground. Then using kind of its arm momentum, swings it over the top and slams it straight down on the head of the mortis claw. It's like, nah! And starts coming out, stabbing at the ground in front of it, trying desperately to back off with its claws. Utari.
Yeah.
You notice as it's trying to back up, its claws are bending. It's like its whole body has become rubberized. Its tail is stabbing into the ground in front of it. Like it's expecting something to be there, but it's not. Mikey.
Huh. Nice.
Do you have anything kinetic?
I indeed do. I have the Galtex sniper rifle.
Go for it.
So, yeah, it's well within range, so I'm not worried about that.
It's well within range. It's a
Not
sniper
worried.
rifle. If it's
Yeah.
within a mile, it's within range.
Yeah. That's a 14 on the dice, so that is a 5, 7, 21 to hit.
Okay.
And
You're definitely hitting. Oh god, Mikey's picking up more dice for those listening at home.
I'm picking
This
up
is never a good
D10s,
sign.
because this actually has a roll damage option here.
Okay.
So that's 16 plus 7 is 23 damage.
Okay, you end up taking one knee to kind of brace your elbow as you're taking the sniper rifle. You line it up. It's moving all over the place. It's really hard to, and you eventually just go, sod it, and just pull the trigger. The bullet travels, slams into that same front left claw, and you watch it explode. But what you can't see because you're firing straight at it, but what Jenkins can see is it's not just the front claw. As the bullet continues to travel up the arm, the rest of the arm goes with it. It's almost like it's being torn apart as it goes up.
Effective.
It basically there's this guttural kind of primal as it just keeps on trying, which just kind of scares the second rock runner because it's like, what the hell just happened? It kind of backs away a bit. What you do notice is that that third Mordrake spider isn't moving forward anymore. It's kind of, what do I do?
My friends are dead. Oh, my friends are dead.
I've got 2 dead friends, and now my boss is getting ass whooped. These are just rock runners. What the hell's going on?
Right, at this point, I'm going to say, you two, get out. I'll catch up.
Sounds good.
Okay, Utari, you've been given your orders.
Yeah. Utari's gonna bug out as ordered.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's have a look here. Utari, you were going east. That was your way out, and then it's like, yeah, can't go that way. You do see there's like for want of a better way of describing it, an alleyway going north. You think it bends round to the right, going back east, and will take you a different way. You kind of just go, look over your shoulder, go, Irish, let's go. And you kind of both together. Then suddenly realize that you can't.
Oh.
There's an 8-foot rock runner that's going, no! Trying to get you to stay down.
Well, if it's making us stay there, then I'm going to shoot at the thing again.
Okay.
Assuming I can.
At the spider, not the
Yeah,
rock
the
runner,
mortar
right?
spider.
Right.
At the mortar spider, yeah. Because I'm like, well, if it thinks
you're not
it's-
just gonna
if it
go,
thinks it's too
no
dangerous."
witnesses.
No witnesses. One less loose end.
While you are dealing with the, I will say, adolescent rock runner, you see one of the parents zip by and proceed to also grab a rock and start battering the hell out of this mortis claw, which is basically, now the carapace has been broken, is basically been torn apart. It also helps that they take what are effectively very heavy claws and start peeling away at its armor plates.
Oh.
Nice.
It
Just
doesn't
like
take
peeling
long.
an egg. Peeling
Yeah.
a hard-boiled egg. Just
The third Mordrake spider has basically decided, yeah, screw this.
live to
And
fight another day.
despite screaming in a very high-pitched tone, backs away and just keeps falling back. You are out of combat.
Nice.
Mortis claws are like onions.
They got
They have
layers.
layers.
Yeah, they got layers.
Okay. With the end of combat, you kind of all come together and are regarded with suspicion, is the best way to describe it, by the 2 elder rock runners. The younger basically stands in the way that you were going before and won't let you follow the way the mortis spider escaped.
Can I pull up my local map
You can, yes.
and see if I can find any way around that isn't through the way that the rock runner won't let us go? Like the
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Utari tries to go round the rock runner a couple of times and gets kind of shifted back to the group.
No.
Because it seems to
No.
have a certain affinity to Utari, and we're not entirely sure why. Maybe, it really likes lordship. I have no idea. I didn't write that part. You do check your map. It's not enough detail. It's not enough. You've only got about 400 meters worth of range on your personal scanner. So you contact the guy who's taking off his headphones.
I can hear.
Could you do as a sensor check? Given the fact you've been given an update on what has happened and whatnot, you do get advantage.
Oh, good. I'm going to need it. That's far better. The first dice was a 4. The second dice was a 19. So
Okay.
I have a +3,
Finally
so that's a 22.
You're not entirely sure why, but it seems like the juvenile rock runner has given you pretty much pointed you towards that alleyway as being the most direct route you can take to get to where you need to go. Also, from your sensor data, you find a very, very large heat source positioned partially on top and partially underground, about another 600 meters in the direction of where the Mordrek spider was running to, which you then determined would probably be a nest.
I pass that information directly to the team.
And
Fuck that nest.
and we will continue this next time.
Well, we have enough grenades to deal with the nest because it's only a medium nest. It's probably not a good idea to go deal with that right now.
But you've got no stratagems.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're out of stratagems. The timers ran down. We're fucked.
Yeah, the destroyer's left space.
Yeah, finally I've updated the sensors. We seem to have landed on a place called Malevolon Creek.
There's just so many parts.
Anyway, yes. Well, all we've got time left to do today is to thank everyone who's been here. Thank you to SurelyOnlyMikey, to UtariOnzo, to Red Moogle, and of course to RivalZoneGaming for GMing and writing this session. We'll be back with a secret third week of Elite Dangerous next time. I've been Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast, and we will see you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.